My single dad of 20 years suddenly married a female CEO, and because of that, I also got 3 gorgeous new stepsisters. But after I found out, I couldn't feel happy at all. It's just that these 3 stepsisters are all my ex-girlfriends. At this moment, I looked at the 388 yuan bill in my hand, took a deep breath, and made a decision. Chi Xiaoyu. After a week of observation, I don't think we're a good match. Let's just be regular friends from now on. Chi Xiaoyu was stunned, frozen on the spot. Why? This was her first time in a relationship. She never expected it to end after only a week. Hearing her ask why, I didn't explain. I just quietly opened WeChat and showed her my payment history. Monday, morning tea was 57. Lunch buffet was 288. Dinner buffet was 348. Tuesday, the arcade was 300. Pork knuckle rice delivery was 100. She wasn't full, so we went for conveyor belt hot pot. Buffet was 68. Dinner was another buffet for 98. Total spending this week, 5,888. 1 week's spending is equal to my entire summer part-time job salary. I lowered my head in shame. Chi Xiaoyu, you're a good girl, but unfortunately, I'm too poor. I can't afford you. I'm sorry. Chi Xiaoyu's eyes misted over like the misty rain of Jiangnan. Her cute nose sniffled. She tried hard to hold back her emotions, shook her head and replied, "No, it's okay. Hike. I'll control my appetite from now on. Hike." After saying that, she couldn't hold it in anymore and turned around, wiping her face with both hands, letting out a faint sob. At the same time, her short legs started running, wanting to quickly leave this heartbreaking place. Watching her retreating figure, my heart felt like it was being tugged. An indescribable feeling of discomfort welled up inside me. Sigh. I hope you can meet someone who is both rich and loves you. I let out a long sigh. Just as I turned to leave, I received a message from my dad. Son, your dad has made it. I successfully won over Aunt Chai last night. We just got the marriage certificate this morning. At 6 p.m. today, come to the Sky Restaurant at the Garden Hotel to meet Aunt Chai and your 3 new stepsisters. My face was covered in question marks. I couldn't believe the words on the screen. No way. My 40-something-year-old dad got out of singledom faster than this 20-year-old? Adults these days really go all out. That's what I said out loud, but in my heart, I was genuinely happy for my dad. When I was 3, my biological mother had a huge fight with my dad over an affair, which ultimately led to a divorce. Towards this biological mother, I don't have a single good feeling. Ever since I was born, she never cared. Things like lulling me to sleep, changing diapers, and bottle feeding were all handled by my dad, Chen Zhenhai. After the divorce, because Chen Zhenhai hadn't worked for a long time, the money at home was barely enough for 3 meals a day. Luckily, my dad's superior, who is also Aunt Chi, after learning about our family's difficulties, not only lent my dad some money but also came over to help babysit in her free time. In my heart, I had long considered Aunt Chai as my mother. Unfortunately, my dad back then was solely focused on making money and neglected Aunt Chi's feelings, only successfully winning her over 20 years later. Meanwhile, on a road leading to a villa complex, Chi Xiaoyu stood in front of a duplex house, wiping her tears before entering the villa. All that remained were eyes red from crying. After composing herself, she used her fingerprint to open the door and enter the house. A short-haired girl walked out of the bathroom, drenched in sweat. It was Chi Xiaoyu's second older sister, Chi Xiyu. Xiao Yu. Why are your eyes so red? You haven't been crying, have you? Which bastard bullied my Xiao Yu? Watch me beat him to a pulp. The name Chi Xiyu sounds very elegant, but in reality, she's a hothead. Hearing her second sister wanting to stand up for her, the tears that Chi Xiaoyu had struggled to hold back burst forth like a broken dam once more. She tearfully hugged Chi Xiyu's slender waist, burying her head in her soft chest. Sob, second sister. I got my heart broken. There, it's just a breakup. I went through one a year ago too. It's nothing but a passing cloud. You have to believe that the next one will be better and more obedient. Stop thinking about that Lolita complex pervert. Chi Xiyu was like coaxing a baby, gently patting Chi Xiaoyu's back. She and their eldest sister both knew Chi Xiaoyu was dating, but they had never met Xiaoyu's boyfriend, so they unanimously agreed he must be a Lolita complex pervert. After all, Chi Xiaoyu was a lolly, only 1.48 meters tall and flat as a board. When Chi Xiaoyu heard her second sister say that a breakup was just a passing cloud, the corner of her mouth couldn't help but twitch. She still remembered when Chi Xiyu had her heart broken. She had made a punching bag, printed with an abstract-style human head and the name Wang Xiaobo. Every day, she would punch that bag for at least 4 hours. The final fate of that punching bag was that she punched it until it exploded. Only then did she escape from the emotional impact of the breakup. Just then, the main door opened again. An exquisitely made-up woman walked in. Chi Xiaoyu quickly let go of her second sister, hastily wiped her tears, and forced a strained smile. Mom, why are you home so early today? Haha, there's a joyous occasion tonight. I have to take you girls to meet Uncle Chen and your handsome older brother too. Aunt Chai smiled as she walked up to Chi Xiaoyu, noticing that the girl's eyes were slightly red and swollen. Xiaoyu, what's wrong with your eyes? Your second sister didn't bully you, did she? Chi Shi-yu put her hands on her hips, pouting unhappily. Mom, you're wrongly accusing an innocent person. Then, she told Aunt Chi everything. Knowing her youngest daughter had been heartbroken, Aunt Chi pulled Chi Xiaoyu into her arms with a doting expression. Oh my poor, pitiful daughter. Are the three of you sisters cursed? All three of you getting your hearts broken one after another. At this, Chi Shi-yu recalled what Mrs. Chi had just said. Mom, you just said we're meeting Uncle Chen tonight. Could it be? I've accepted Uncle Chen's proposal. We've already gotten the marriage certificate. Tonight, you won't just have a father, but also an older brother who can protect you. As Aunt Chai spoke, she took the dark red marriage certificate out of her bag. Seeing this, the two girls were a little overjoyed. Mom, you finally came to your senses. All three sisters had a pretty good impression of my dad. When they were young, he would often sneak behind Aunt Chi's back to buy them delicious snacks. It's just that brother they've never met. They didn't know what he was like. Chi Xiaoyu blinked and asked, Mom, isn't eldest sister back yet? She's on the plane. She'll land around 5:30 p.m. We don't need to go pick her up. Your Uncle Chen is passing by the airport on his way, so he'll pick her up and bring her straight to the Garden Hotel. Before then, you two put your heartbreak aside for now and get all dolled up. Around 5 p.m., I had just stepped out of the shower when I received a message from my dad. Son, your eldest stepsister lands at Longhua Airport at 5:30 p.m. I was supposed to pick her up, but there's a traffic jam in the city now. I definitely won't make it in time. Can you go pick her up for me? I typed back with a helpless expression. Oh, Dad, can you at least send a picture? How am I supposed to know what this eldest stepsister looks like? Looking. 2 minutes later, my dad sent a picture over. A girl about 10 years old, hugging a doll. The picture's resolution was very low, looking like it was taken with a 10-year-old phone. This is your eldest stepsister. Her name is Chi An-shui. Her personality is like her mom's, a gentle and virtuous girl who really knows how to take care of others. I frowned slightly, staring at the picture. How strange. Why does this face look so much like my first love? Chi An-shui, Chi Xiaoshui. The names only differ by one character. Their surnames are the same too. Suddenly, my eyes widened. I thought of a possibility. Could it be that this stepsister named Chi An-shui is Chi Xiaoshui's younger sister? As soon as I thought that, I shook my head and dismissed it. That's not right either. Dad said she's Aunt Chi's eldest daughter. Chi Xiaoshui is only a year younger than me. The girl in the picture is 10 at most, so how could she be Chi Xiaoshui's younger sister? I stopped thinking about it. Whatever. It's about time. I should go pick her up first. Otherwise, if this little sister comes out and doesn't see anyone to pick her up, she'll probably cry her eyes out. Longhua Airport. A girl in an off-white high-collared dress. Her full chest pushed the red bow tie below her collar more than halfway up. Her waist-length hair was untied, swaying with every step. Just then, the phone in Chi An-shui's pocket vibrated. She took it out to look. It was a message from her mother. Uncle Chen is stuck in traffic. He can't come to the airport to pick you up. He's asked your older brother to pick you up instead. You should be able to see him when you go out. He's a very handsome boy. The corners of Chi An-shui's mouth curved up. I hope this older brother is a cute boy that I can take good care of. Arrivals hall. I held up my phone with my right hand, using one eye to look at the photo on the phone and the other to search for my target in the crowd. But among the people passing by, there were no little girls at all. After waiting for another 5 minutes, a familiar face appeared in my line of sight. It's her. At this moment, upon reaching the arrival hall, Chi An-shui had also noticed my presence. Just like me, she also widened her eyes in astonishment. But brother? Chi An-shui was my first love. In my second year of university, through a chance encounter, I had a simple but memorable relationship with Chi An-shui. Chi An-shui was a girl who really knew how to take care of others, but she was too clingy. She wanted to be by my side at all times, everywhere, feeding me all sorts of snacks, telling me all kinds of beautiful fairy tales, even insisting on coming along when I went to the men's restroom. In the end, I really couldn't take it anymore and broke up with Chi An-shui one night. Since then, the two of us have never met again. I saw Chi An-shui walking towards me, so I scratched my head a little awkwardly. Xiaoshui, are you back from a performance? Chi An-shui studied violin and was quite well known in the violin circle, catching the eye of many masters. She often traveled to various places to participate in concerts. Chi An-shui's lips moved several times, opening and closing, wanting to ask if I'd been well these past few years. But then she remembered she was no longer my girlfriend, and a faint, somewhat bitter smile appeared on her face. Yes, Brother Bo. Are you waiting for someone? Yes. I'm waiting for my stepsister. She's a 10-year-old girl. Xiaoshui, have you seen her? With that, I showed the picture of the little girl on my phone to Chi An-shui. Chi An-shui glanced at the photo, and for a moment, her expression froze. Brother, if I remember correctly, this is a picture of me taken in my hometown when I was 10. My brain instantly short-circuited. My first love is my stepsister. After a long moment, I was the first to react. I immediately picked up my phone and messaged my dad. My two-handed typing speed was so fast it created after images. Dad? Are you deliberately setting up your own beloved son? This is the little girl in the photo, right? She's all grown up in real life, yet you send me her childhood photo. Heh. Well, I only have Xiao Shui's childhood photos. Since you've already found her, hurry up and bring her to the 33rd floor of the garden hotel. Your Aunt Chi, your other two stepsisters, and I are waiting for you. I let out a helpless sigh, slowly lifting my head to look at Chi and Shui. So, Xiao Shui, your full name is Chi and Shui, not Chi Xiao Shui, like you told me. Chi and Shui nodded. Chi Xiao Shui is my pet name. At the time, I heard that couples using pet names help strengthen their relationship. Brother Bo, your dad. Could he be Uncle Chen? Qian Shui didn't know my surname. This was because I had believed the superstition that when dating, if the man only gives his first name and not his last, it would be easier to solidify the relationship. I said nothing, just silently nodded. Qian Shui took a deep breath, her eyes filled with a mix of excitement and a little bit of fear. Excited because her brother was someone she knew. Scared because this acquaintance was her ex-boyfriend. Afraid that because of her clingy personality, in the future, I wouldn't even give her the chance for a normal conversation. I could see Qian Shui's mood at the moment, so I gave a light smile and said, let's just forget about the past. Right now, you're not my first love. You're my stepsister. There's no need to create distance because of what happened. Let's go. We'll head to the garden hotel. On the way, I counted. Qian Shui, sitting in the passenger seat, had secretly glanced at me a total of 56 times. The car reached a red light intersection, not far from the garden hotel. We happened to catch a red light and stopped. Qian Shui snuck another glance at me. I finally couldn't take it anymore and turned my head to look at Qian Shui. She was like a startled bunny, so scared that she immediately straightened her head, placing her hands obediently on her fair thighs. Hey, Xiao Shui. Is there rice on my face that's so attractive, your big mouse? You've already snuck more than 50 glances at me. Seeing that I had caught her peeking, Qian Shui's face involuntarily flushed a shade of pink. She stammered, I just feel like Brother Bo has changed a lot. Your face and body seem to have gotten much thinner. I just wanted to look a few more times to confirm. I shook my head, speechless. The way I look now is exactly the same as 2 years ago. If you want to admire my handsome face, you don't have to be sneaky about it. Just turn your head and look straight at me. As I spoke, I used my hand to turn Qian Shui's head. This action made Qian Shui even more embarrassed. Her already rosy face now seemed to be heating up. In the garden, hotel's elevator, Qian Shui hesitantly rubbed her hands together. Seeing that we were about to reach the 33rd floor, she mustered all her courage to finish the sentence she had left hanging earlier. Brother? Can I call you Brother Bo? After saying this, Qian Shui felt as if she was exhausted. Of course, Dad and Aunt Chi are already married. From now on, we're family. Xiao Shui, you can call me whatever you want. Seeing the radiant, sun-like smile on my face, the anxiety and fear in Qian Shui's heart immediately vanished. Just then, I asked curiously, Oh, right. Xiao Shui, are your two younger sisters easy to get along with? Qian Shui thought for a moment and replied, My two younger sisters are pretty easy to get along with. My second sister may seem hot-tempered on the outside, she actually has a sharp tongue and a soft heart. As for my youngest sister, her personality is the complete opposite of my second sister. She's quite shy and reserved with strangers, a bit introverted. But that's not entirely true. After all, when she's alone, she often hangs out in places like internet cafes, and she's pretty good at playing video games. She just eats a little too much. Just as Qian Shui finished speaking, the elevator reached the 33rd floor. The doors slowly opened. Stepping into the Sky restaurant with its tempered glass floor, I had just lifted my head to look for familiar faces when I heard my dad's call and Aunt Chi's from the right. Xiao Bo. Over here, over here. Qian Shui and I turned around. My gaze swept past Aunt Chi and my dad for less than a second before quickly locking onto two other familiar faces. After seeing me, Qi Xiaoyu's eyes widened in astonishment. Qi Shiyu next to her looked like her eyes were about to pop out. Qi Luoxuan looked at her daughters with suspicion. What's wrong? Why such a big reaction? You two don't know Xiao Bo, do you? Qi Xiaoyu's head shook like a rattle drum. Know him? Qi Shiyu also forced an awkward smile. No, we're just surprised that this older brother is younger than we imagined. After saying that, Qi Shiyu also noticed her youngest sister's odd behavior and turned her head to ask, Youngest sister, do you know that guy? Qi Xiaoyu immediately shook her head and denied making up a random reason. No, I just saw wrong. Brother looks like a famous game streamer that I often watch. Seeing this, Qi Shiyu retracted her gaze and continued to glare fiercely at me. There was no longer any doubt. I was the ex-boyfriend who had broken up with her a year ago. At this moment, Qian Shui noticed my shocked expression. What's wrong, brother? Do you know my two younger sisters? Without thinking, I immediately shook my head. I don't. I just think your sisters are very cute. Qian Shui believed it, not thinking any deeper. After all, her two younger sisters were indeed very cute. Chen Zhenhai called out to me with a smile. What are you spacing out for? Hurry and bring Shuir over here. Only then did I snap back to reality, leading Qian Shui over. My eyes kept darting towards Qi Xiaoyu and Qi Shiyu. I could never have imagined that I had just broken up with Qi Xiaoyu in the morning, and by the afternoon, she had become my stepsister. What was even more coincidental was that all three of the Qi sisters were my ex-girlfriends. After sitting down, I happened to be sitting opposite these two ex-girlfriends. Qi Xiaoyu looked at me with a resentful gaze, while Qi Shiyu's eyes were filled with fury. She wished she could punch me right then and there. As for the reason for breaking up with the second Qi sister, it had a lot to do with her love for exercise and her hot temper. Back when I was dating Qi Shiyu, this girl, every day at 4 p.m., would call me out for a run. Each run was at least 5 kilometers. Moreover, her temper was like a Tyrannosaurus Rex. What she said went, no arguments. Over time. I still couldn't stand having to practice running every day, so we broke up. This made Qi Shiyu so angry she could breathe fire. Now that we meet again, she has probably already figured out what weapon to use to beat me, facing Qi Shiyu's fierce gaze. I sighed helplessly. Sigh, what a small world for enemies. But right at this moment, a voice sounded in my head. Ding! Congratulations, host, for activating the ultimate sister doting system. Novice mission. Resolve the current situation. Please raise the favorability level of Qi Xiaoyu and Qi Shiyu to the slightly impressed level. Mission completion reward, 5 skill points. Seeing this novice mission, I secretly glanced at my two little sisters, who were still sulking. Qi Xiaoyu's favorability towards me is 9%. Level, cold and distant. Qi Shiyu's favorability towards me is 4%. Level, cold and distant. Seeing these two results, I pursed my lips. Not a big problem. 0% to 10% is cold and distant. I just need to get it up to 11%, and that will be slightly impressed for the system mission. Son, I was startled and looked up at my dad beside me. What is it, Dad? Chen Zhenhai rolled his eyes. I've called you several times. Auntie Qi is introducing your 3 new sisters to you. Are you even listening? I scratched my head in embarrassment. Sorry, Auntie Qi. I was stunned by the beauty of my 3 sisters. Just now in the elevator, little sister Xiao Shui already introduced herself to me. Qi Xiaoyu and Qi Shiyu saw me pretending, and snorted coldly in their hearts, but didn't dare to make a sound, afraid their family would find out that we used to be a couple. Qi Leishuan smiled like an aunt. Ha ha. We haven't seen each other in a few months. Xiaobo is getting more and more handsome. As she spoke, she turned her head and glared at Qi Xiaoyu and Qi Shiyu. What are you spacing out for? Hurry up and call him brother. The two sisters reluctantly pouted, letting out a brother as quiet as a mosquito's buzz. Although the sound was very quiet, I still heard it very clearly. This brother, hearing it made my heart melt. As expected, being called brother by an ex-girlfriend feels so good. The two sisters looked at my smug expression, their mouths puffed up like pufferfish, becoming even angrier. Ding! Host, attention. Qi Xiaoyu and Qi Shiyu's favorability, 1%. My expression immediately darkened. The wide grin on my face also vanished. At this moment, I caught Qi and Shui in the corner of my eye. She was still smiling at me. I curiously checked Qi and Shui's favorability towards me. I shouldn't have looked. The moment I did, I was shocked. The number 42% displayed above her head scared me so much that my eyes went wide. What's with this girl? The waiter started serving the dishes, but I hadn't even taken 2 bites, when Auntie Chi's words almost made me spit out the food in my mouth. Oh, right. Xiaobo. The university Xiao you applied to happens to be the same as Shi Yu's Pelican University. Xiao Shui's school is in the next town over, only a half-hour drive away. I've already bought a villa in Pelican Town. From now on, you will all move in there together to make it convenient for school. Pfft. Cough, cough, cough. Qi Xiaoyu and Qi Shiyu were completely caught off guard and spat out their soup, spraying it all over me. Qi Lejuan glared at them angrily. What are you two doing? Are you looking for a spanking? While speaking, she pulled out a bunch of tissues and got up to help me wipe myself down. I quickly took the tissues from Qi Lejuan's hand. It's okay, Auntie Qi. I can do it myself. Chen Zhenhai scratched his head awkwardly. Hey, about you buying a house in Pelican Town? Why didn't you discuss it with me? Letting you spend the money all by yourself? Before he could finish, Qi Lejuan shot him a glare. You be quiet. With your meager salary, you can barely support yourself, let alone talk about buying a house. Being told that by her, Chen Zhenhai immediately lost all his momentum. I gave a look of profound disappointment as I glared at my father. Sigh. When I get a wife in the future, I definitely can't live like Dad. At this moment, on the outside, Qi Shiyu and Qi Xiaoyu looked frozen, but in reality, their minds were What should I do? What should I do? I have to live under the same roof with this guy from now on. Hell definitely use the title of brother to bully me. Compared to the 2 younger sisters, the thoughts in the eldest sister Qi and Shui's mind right now were much more normal, living with brother Bo. In the future, I can have many legitimate reasons to take care of him. The more Qi and Shui thought about it, the brighter the smile on her face became. I sat opposite them, completely unaware of what my 3 new sisters were thinking in their heads. Right now I was thinking with all my might about how to use the advantage of living together to raise their favorability levels. At 9 p.m., Chen Zhenhai walked into my room. Son, drive to pick up your sisters later, and take them to the house in Pelican Town. I've sent you the address. I looked up at my dad doubtfully. Aren't you and Auntie Chi going to check it out? Chen Zhenhai scratched his head guiltily. We're not going. We'll go see it later when we have time. Lejuan and I have to catch a 9:30 flight later. Hearing this, I immediately understood the implication. You're about to go on a honeymoon with Auntie Chai, aren't you? Chen Zhenhai pouted. What would a single dog like you know? Take good care of your sisters. If I find out you've been bullying them, you can expect a beating when I get back. After saying that, he walked out. I shrugged and stood up. What a worrywart. I just hope those three little ancestors are happy every day. How could I possibly bully them? I said while pulling my suitcase, turned off the lights, and went downstairs to drive into the city to pick up my sisters. Inside the Thompson Riviera, the second sister, Qi Shiyu, looked at Qi and Shui to start a conversation. Sis, what do you think of that guy? Qi and Shui had an innocent expression, clearly not knowing who her second sister was asking about. That bastard Chenbo? Qi and Shui realized. My brother. He's a good person. You shouldn't call him a bastard. He's our family now. Qi Shiyu was speechless. No way, sis. Why are you defending an outsider? Besides, you've only met him once, right? How would you know he's gentle and thoughtful? Could it be? You knew him before? Qi Shiyu's eyes narrowed slightly. Qi and Shui's body trembled. Suddenly she remembered that I was her ex-boyfriend, and her younger sisters still didn't know. She quickly shook her head and explained. No. How could I have known him before? It's just that when he picked me up, he helped me with my luggage, helped open the car door, and got me water to drink, so I just felt that he was very thoughtful. Qi Shiyu's eyes narrowed into a thin line. Qian Shui was so nervous that her back started breaking out in a cold sweat. She quickly changed the subject. You and Chen Bo have only met once too, right? Why did you call him a bastard? Did he offend you in the past? This time, it was Qi Shiyu's turn to break into a cold sweat. She stammered nervously. No. Then she hurriedly looked towards her youngest sister. Youngest sister? What do you think of that guy? Being asked so suddenly. Qi Xiaoyu jumped and stammered her reply. I think he's a very good person. Heh. Seeing that both her eldest and youngest sisters thought I was a good person, Qi Shiyu helplessly held her forehead and shook her head. Sigh. One is clueless, the other is naive. If they met a bad guy, they probably wouldn't even know they were being tricked. Just as she finished speaking, I drove up and stopped right in front of them. Sorry, there was a bit of traffic. I made you all wait. I got out of the car, opened the trunk, and helped the sisters put their luggage. Qi and Shui waved her hands and proactively helped lift the luggage into the car. No, you came right on time. We've only been downstairs for less than 2 minutes. 2 hours later, I followed the GPS to the door of the house that Auntie Qi had bought. Xiao Shui, Xiao Yu, we're home. You can continue sleeping when we're inside. Time to eat. Qi Xiao. You woke up in a daze. A trail of drool lingered at the corner of her mouth, ready to drip at any moment. The other two sisters also woke up one by one. They rubbed their sleepy eyes, blinked a couple of times, stared blankly for 2 seconds, then closed their eyes again, and started snoring steadily. Qi Xiaoyu didn't smell any food, so she fell asleep along with her 2 sisters. Oh, my little ancestors. Can't you at least get inside before you sleep? Xiao Shui, Xiao Yu. I shook each of them in turn. This time, they didn't even bother lifting their eyelids, sleeping like logs. I held my forehead helplessly. Sigh. There's really nothing I can do with you guys. Since I can't wake them up, I can only carry them one by one. 1, 2, up we go. I used all my strength to pick up Qi and Shui. After putting her down, I was so tired I was panting. I ran back down to carry the relatively lighter second sister, but as soon as I carried her out of the car, Qi Shiyu's lips moved as she talked in her "Want to exercise with that big idiot?" I froze for a moment. A faint smile appeared on my face. I whispered back to her, I will exercise with you from now on. Qi Shiyu seemed to have heard a satisfactory answer. Her lips slowly curved up, revealing a happy smile. Ding. Qi Shiyu's favorability towards me plus 7%, currently 11%, slightly impressed. Early the next morning, a few clear chirps of birds woke me. I turned over and slowly opened my eyes. The time on my phone was 7:30. Although today is the first day of school, registration time at school is 10 o'clock. I stretched, got out of bed, and walked out of the bedroom. I could smell the fragrance of milk from downstairs, along with the sound of food sizzling in a pan from the kitchen. I went downstairs to find Qi and Shui already up early, wearing an apron and busy in the kitchen. You still like waking up early? And making breakfast as always, huh? Qi and Shui was startled. Brother, you're awake. Even though it's the first day of school today, you don't need to wake up so early. I glanced into the pan. Inside were 8 sausages as thick as 2 knuckles, plump and greasy. Frying sausages? Need any help? No need, brother. I can do it myself. If you're free and have nothing to do, can you go upstairs and wake those 2 up for me? Ding. the host cared for his sister, and successfully changed Chi and Shu's thoughts. Skill points +1. While I was dazed, the pan gradually started to smell burnt. I sniffed the air. What's that smell? Chi and Shui then came to her senses and smelled the burning smell from the pan. Oh no, my sausages. She frantically turned off the stove to save the sausages. I smiled helplessly and tactfully went upstairs to perform wake-up call services. First, I pushed open the door of the room opposite mine. Chi Shiyu was lying on her side, with her leg propped up on a life-sized teddy bear sleeping soundly. I smiled and walked towards the window and yanked the curtains open. The sun's already up. Time to get up, little lazy worm. Soon enough. The sunlight shining on her face made Chi Shiyu let out an extremely annoyed sound, her eyebrows furrowed tightly like a pretzel. She irritably turned over to continue sleeping. I put my hands on my hips and looked at her, annoyed. I thought someone who likes to exercise would be very self-disciplined. Turns out this girl also likes to sleep in. I looked up at the air conditioner. The corner of my mouth slowly curled up. Then I took the remote control and turned off the air conditioner that had been on all night. Not long after, on the bed, covered by a blanket and being shined on by the sun, Chi Shiyu felt stuffy and kicked the blanket off and threw the teddy bear in her arms onto the floor. Even so, the stuffy feeling didn't lessen at all. In fact, it got worse. Chi Shiyu sat up, extremely annoyed. Her eyes weren't even open yet, as she flailed her arms around and threw a tantrum. Are you gonna let me sleep or not? I chuckled and said. Xiao Shui has already prepared breakfast. Get up, wash your face, and come downstairs to eat. You're so annoying, she said as she grabbed a pillow and threw it at me. I caught the pillow. Remember to come down for breakfast later, otherwise your big sister will come up with a feather duster. After saying that, I walked straight out of Chi Shiyu's room. After I left, Chi Shiyu groggily opened her eyes and blinked a couple of times. Suddenly, she recalled what had just happened. That guy came into my room without permission to wake me up. Chi Shiyu held her head in despair, her expression as if the sky were falling. I'm doomed. He saw me in this state. She frantically ruffled her hair, looked at the bright sunny window and the closed vents of the air conditioner, her small face puffed up with anger like a pufferfish. That hateful bastard brother. Opening the curtains is one thing, but he even turned off my air conditioner. Ding! Chi Shiyu is sulking because of you. A pouting little sister is also very cute, but don't bully her too much. Reward. Skill points +1. I was in the hallway when I saw the system notification, and 3 big question marks appeared in my head, making my sister angry. Doesn't deduct favorability points, and even rewards me instead. I walked to the room next to my bedroom, knocked on the door, and gently pushed it open a crack. Seeing that Chi Xiaoyu was still in bed and not yet awake, I stepped inside. I leaned close to the bed and called out, "Little greedy kitten, time to get up and eat." Before, whenever Chi Xiaoyu heard the word food, she would have jumped up long ago, but now she was still snoring, with no sign of waking up. Could this girl be just like that Chi Xiaoyu, and also loves to sleep in? I used the same old trick. Opened the curtains and turned off the air conditioner, but I had underestimated Chi Xiaoyu's tolerance for heat. I myself was drenched in sweat, but Chi Xiaoyu, under the blanket, wasn't sweating a single drop. This girl's heat tolerance is really high, in that case. Don't blame me for being ruthless. I grabbed the blanket and suddenly yanked it up. Get up, youngest sister. The sun's shining. As soon as the blanket was lifted, my pupils contracted. Immediately after, with the speed of lightning, I covered Chi Xiaoyu with the blanket again. My shocked expression still lingered. This girl wasn't wearing. At this moment, feeling a bit stuffy, Chi Xiaoyu groggily sat up. Her eyes weren't even open yet. It felt like her body was awake, but her brain hadn't booted up yet. I gave a wry smile and picked up the shorts scattered on the floor, walked to the bed and called softly, "Time to eat." Hearing the 2 words, "time to eat," Chi Xiaoyu's eyes suddenly flew open, and her brain instantly woke up. So hungry. I want to go eat. She kicked the blanket away with 1 foot, got out of bed, and put on her thick-soled cinnamoroll slippers. She was about to shuffle out the door, the moment her hand touched the doorknob. I quickly grabbed the back of her collar and pulled her back. Stop, stop, stop. Hey, did you forget something? I held up her shorts and waved them in front of her. My eyes were fixed on the door in front of me, trying not to look at her. Otherwise, I would inevitably get a free show. But Chi Xiaoyu saw that I was holding her shorts and looked up at me, very confused. What's wrong? I didn't forget anything. Seeing her clueless look, I waved her shorts in my hand again. You're still asking me what's wrong? Are you going to go out without wearing any pants? Of course. I didn't barge into your room on purpose. Your eldest sister asked me to come wake you 2 up. I didn't know you would sleep in. There was too much information, which made Chi Xiaoyu's newly booted brain lag a little. She scratched her head for a moment before replying. But I usually finish breakfast and my morning routine before I change my clothes. Hearing these words, I rolled my eyes in annoyance. Is this a matter of habit? This is a matter related to my honor. No way. A country has its laws. A house has its rules. In this house, you have to put on pants for me. Otherwise, don't even think about opening this door. Chi Xiaoyu lowered her head. The silly cowlick on her head drooped down too. Fine, okay. In order to get breakfast, she took the pants from my hand. Only then did I let it go. The moment the door opened, Chi Xiaoyu moved her short legs and rushed out quickly. This kid, is her stomach a bottomless pit or what? I laughed, shook my head, and walked out of Qi Xiaoyu's bedroom. Just then, Qi Xiyu happened to walk out of her bedroom, seeing me in the hallway. She deliberately lifted her head and turned to one side, and even let out a cold humph. She quickened her pace, as if running away from something, and quickly went downstairs. I shrugged in confusion and followed her downstairs. Sis, why does the grilled sausage smell burnt? Whoa, the back is all burnt black. Qi Xiaoyu tasted that the sausage wasn't right. She flipped it over, so scared that her silly cowlick stood on end. Qi Yingshui cleared her throat awkwardly, trying to explain. Haha, actually, this is a new type of grilled sausage that I bought for the first time. It's called burnt back meat sausage. It's supposed to look like this. The burnt smell is normal too. The corner of my mouth twitched. I picked up my sausage and gave it to Qi Xiaoyu. Little sister, my sausage isn't burnt. Have mine. I haven't touched it. Thanks, Brother Chen. Ding. Host has shown care and concern for Qi Xiaoyu. Qi Xiaoyu's favorability towards you has greatly increased. Favorability plus 8%. Skill points plus 1. The favorability of the 3 younger sisters towards you are all above the slightly impressed level. Congratulations to the host for completing the newbie mission. Reward: 5 skill points. The corner of my mouth curled up. This favorability is increasing so fast. Or maybe our past boyfriend-girlfriend relationship is having an effect. Whatever. I'll try adding 2 points to the strength stat first. I used 2 skill points to add to the strength attribute. The moment I added the points, I felt a surge of energy suddenly welling up inside my body. I feel terrifyingly strong right now. After breakfast, I looked towards the eldest sister, Qi Yingshui. Xiao Shui, what time do you have to register? Do you need me to give you a ride? The academy Qi Yingshui attends is a very famous music university. There, she is also the recognized campus belle. Moreover, whether it's her looks or musical talent, her level is one of a kind. I'm not in a hurry. I'm going in the afternoon. I can just take a taxi myself. Brother, you should take Xiaoyu and Xiaoyu early. Xiaoyu has to start her military training at 9 o'clock. Hearing the words, military training, Qi Xiaoyu's small body trembled. She subconsciously shrank her neck. Frail and sickly since childhood, she really dislikes strenuous exercise and military training. I realized Qi Xiaoyu was afraid of military training and smiled comfortingly. It's okay, Xiaoyu. If you can't take it, just find any excuse to tell the instructor. Absolutely don't force yourself to suffer. After all, we dated for a week. From Qi Xiaoyu's small frame and her appetite, I could tell. She's a loli with not so great stamina. Qi Xiu rolled her eyes, speechless. Hey, I'm telling you, is there any brother like you? Inciting your little sister to be lazy, right? Ahem, ahem. This is called strategic preservation of strength. If Xiao, you gets exhausted on the first day, who will help you sneak spicy snacks back from the cafeteria? I explained seriously, while not forgetting to wink at Qi Xiaoyu. Qi Xiaoyu cooperated and nodded. Qi Xiu's forehead was immediately covered in black lines. She was so angry she gritted her teeth. This bastard. If our little sister stays with him, sooner or later, she'll be corrupted by him. No way. After we get to school, I have to keep an eye on this guy. In the evening, you'll take him for a few laps around the school and tire him out until he's breathless, to let him know the consequences of barging into my room this morning, how terrifying it is to wake me up. After breakfast, Qi Xiaoyu and Qi Xiu changed into JK uniforms and appeared before my eyes. This was the first time I saw the two of them in JK uniforms. I must say, it's quite cute, especially Qi Xiu. After putting on the Jake uniform, her whole aura changed. You couldn't tell she was a hot-tempered girl at all. Qi Xiu noticed my gaze. I had been looking at her for 10 seconds. She puffed her cheeks and yelled, "Are you still looking?" As she spoke, she unconsciously pulled down the hem of her skirt with both hands. I smiled teasingly. Such a cute little sister. Is it strange for her big brother to take a few extra glances? Hearing this compliment, Qi Xiu's cheeks quietly flushed red, but her expression pretended to be indifferent. Stop with the flattery. Hurry up and drive us to school. She deliberately glanced away, looking arrogant, but actually, she didn't dare to look directly at me. Ding. Host has successfully made the second sister shy. Skill points +1. The small villa wasn't far from the school. We quickly arrived at the school gate. Qi Xiu looked at me and Qi Xiaoyu and said, "I'm leaving first. The department has a lot of things for me to handle." After speaking, she looked at Qi Xiaoyu and gave a serious reminder. "Little sister, the new students have military training until 5 p.m. After it's over, don't leave right away. Wait for me at the sports field. I don't feel safe letting you go home alone." At this point, I smiled and interjected, "Don't worry, I'll be free around 3 p.m. I'll come watch our little sister train then and pick her up, by the way, to go home." Hearing that I would come to watch her military training, Qi Xiao, you stood up straight. Immediately getting so nervous her palms started to sweat. I am doomed. What if my brother sees me in an embarrassing state? After we parted ways, it wasn't time for my meeting yet. I was just about to find a relatively quiet place to rest, when I happened to receive a message from my good brother, Subai. "Chenbo, have you arrived at school yet? I'm in the cafeteria. Emergency, I need your help. Just arrived. Coming over now." After typing the reply, I immediately headed towards the cafeteria. When I arrived, I immediately saw Subai sitting in a corner. Seeing me, Subai was like a drowning man clutching at a straw. He hurriedly waved me over. I smiled and sat down across from him. Did you argue with Xiaolan again? Argue my ass. I'm not looking for you because of her this time. As Subai spoke, he looked around furtively like a thief. After confirming no one was nearby, he leaned in and whispered, I have a friend who asked me to ask for your opinion on a relationship problem. First, I have to make it clear. This is my friend asking me to ask you. It's absolutely not me who wants to ask. I smiled knowingly. Go on. What's the difficult problem? It's like this, Chenbo. Is there a way to always win an argument? With a hot-tempered girlfriend? Hearing this question, I furrowed my brow. Back when I was dating Qi Shiyu, she was also the hot-tempered type. The difference is that Qi Shiyu's temper still had reason and affection. She wouldn't start arguments at the drop of a hat, much less say shocking things, so I never argued with her. I propped my chin and thought for 2.5 seconds. This is a bit difficult. First, you have to be tough yourself to have the courage for the next steps. So let me ask you something. Are you afraid of Xiaolan? Hearing that, Subai sneered. He strategically leaned back against the back of the chair with both hands clasped behind his head. Ha! Are you kidding? Me, afraid of that Sichuan Tyrannosaurus? At the same time he said this, a young woman with a high ponytail silently appeared behind him. I was about to open my mouth to warn him, but the ponytail girl shot me a glare. I immediately shut my mouth and pretended not to see. At this point, Subai started rambling on and on. Let me tell you, that Sichuan Tyrannosaurus is all talk. She has no chest, and the hottest and most unpleasant temper. She's no good at anything, but she's #1 at arguing. Don't be fooled by her fierce appearance. When I'm in front of her, just one glance from me is enough to scare that Tyrannosaurus, so scared she doesn't dare to look up. That's my status in front of her. This little Tyrannosaurus. How could I possibly be afraid of her? He went on and on. Subai very comfortably crossed his legs. At this moment, a cold voice sounded from behind him. Are you done talking? Done talk. Halfway through his sentence, Subai's face changed drastically. Before he could turn his head, his ear was pinched by a slender hand, forcefully turning him around. I was wrong, honey. That was a dog talking just now. It wasn't me. Very good, Subai. You dare to talk bad about me behind my back. Family status, right? I'll show you what family status is. Poor Subai was thus dragged away by the ear by Zhou Xiaolan. Witnessing this scene, I sighed helplessly and shook my head. Sigh. So pitiful. I took out my phone to check the time, then I stood up. My little sister's military training must be starting soon. I'll go sneak a peek at how she's doing, as the head of the track and field club. After Qi Shiyu finished checking the sports equipment, she returned to the simple office and began to plan for this semester regarding the activity content and the recruitment plan for new members. Just as she was busy, the office door was pushed open by someone in a suit with a parted hairstyle, his right hand behind his back, holding a bouquet of roses. Qi Shiyu didn't look up. She focused on her work. Don't be fooled by her usual love for sports and her hot temper. She's actually a top student, majoring in social sciences management. Sports are just her hobby. Xiaojiba smiled and walked up to Qi Shiyu's desk. He brought his right hand out from behind his back. A large bouquet of red roses was practically stuck to Qi Shiyu's face. Xiaoyu, these are 99 roses that I carefully prepared for you. Do you like them? Xiaojiba smiled with his eyes narrowed, waiting for Qi Shiyu's answer. Qi Shiyu took a deep breath. Looking at the document that was blocked by the roses, she frowned impatiently. This wasn't the first time he'd done this. He had always used all sorts of methods before that he thought were romantic to pursue her. A while ago because I was dating her. This guy had been quiet for a while. Now that he knows I've broken up with her, he immediately came to cause trouble again. Classmate Xiao, could you please leave? I'm very busy right now. I don't have time to fool around with you. Qi Shiyu bluntly ordered him to leave, while pushing away the bouquet of roses he gave her. Besides, I'm allergic to pollen. Please don't give me flowers. Xiaojiba's expression stiffened, seeing that he had no intention of leaving. Qi Shiyu packed up 2 folders herself and left the office without looking back, intending to find a quiet place to work. After Qi Shiyu had walked far away, Xiaojiba angrily threw the bouquet of roses on the ground, again and again. It's been 33 times. Do you still not understand who truly loves you? Dating that poor loser Chenbo, and you still refuse to be my girlfriend, the vice president of the student union. You're forcing me, Qi Shiyu, since you've rejected me time and time again. Then don't blame me for using force. The school sports field. I hid in a corner, carefully poking my head out, my eyes scanning the crowd of new students. I quickly found Qi Xiaoyu. She stood there, like a doll. After just a while in the sun, she was already drenched in sweat. When the instructor passed by, she immediately stood up straight. After he passed, her shoulders drooped lazily again, her straight feet turned outwards, trying to make herself a little more comfortable. I smiled and shook my head. This kid. Just then, I happened to glance over and see Qi Shi Yu holding 2 folders, appearing on the small path, in the garden opposite the sports field, walking towards the old, soon-to-be-demolished teaching building that was no longer open to the public. Isn't that little Qi Shi Yu? Shouldn't she be working in the track and field club office? Why is she going to the old teaching building? Moreover, behind her there's a sneaky figure. I frowned slightly. A bad premonition arose. I should go check it out. It'll be bad if this kid runs into danger. I broke into a light run, going around the sports field, and ran towards the old teaching building. At the same time, I used 5 skill points, 3 for speed, 1 for strength, 1 for defense, 3rd floor of the old teaching building. Qi Shi Yu entered a classroom, inside which was a set of a desk and chair covered with a white plastic sheet. After lifting the plastic sheet, the desk and chair were completely dust-free. This was a plastic sheet Qi Shi Yu had deliberately put there. When she felt troubled, she would come here to calm down. Just as she sat down, before her seat was even warm, an uninvited guest suddenly appeared at the door. Bam! Xiaoji Ba entered the classroom, slammed the door shut, and pulled a chair to block it. Qi Shi Yu stood up and warned him in a cold voice. Xiaoji Ba, what do you want to do? This is a school. Xiaoji Ba had a look of frustration on his face. He undid the button on his collar and walked towards Qi Shi Yu step by step. Do you know, Xiao Yu? To pursue you. I've already paid too high a price. I really like you a lot. But why would you be with a poor loser, instead of agreeing to be my girlfriend? As he spoke, he moved closer to Qi Shi Yu. Qi Shi Yu frowned deeply and subconsciously backed away to avoid him. You've misunderstood, Xiaoji Ba. Liking someone has never been about whether that person is outstanding or not, but about who they are as a person. You and I are not from the same world. We can't. Before she could finish her sentence, Xiaoji Ba lunged forward 1 step and pushed her hard against the blackboard. Come here, Xiao Yu. You'll prove that I'm more suitable for you than that Chen Bo. As he spoke, he was about to forcibly kiss Qi Shi Yu. Get lost. Qi Shi Yu shook her head frantically, while also constantly using her limbs, trying to struggle free. Seeing that her strength was no match for Xiaoji Ba's, she screamed, "Help, is anyone there?" Faced with Qi Shi Yu's cries for help, Xiaoji Ba wasn't scared at all. Scream. Even if you scream your lungs out, no one will come to save you. I locked the main door downstairs when I came in. Right now, the sound from the loudspeakers at the sports field outside is enough to cover your screams. Accept your fate. Qi Shi Yu, you can only be my plaything. After saying that, he, consumed by lust, had lost all reason. He continued to pucker his lips, aiming for the head. That Qi Shi Yu was shaking non-stop. Just at this moment, the classroom door, which was blocked by a desk, was suddenly kicked open. Get your filthy hands off Xiao Yu. After Qi Shi Yu saw that it was me, hope immediately ignited in her eyes. Ding, host, your appearance has ignited hope in Qi Shi Yu. Favorability, plus 10%. Skill points, plus 5. Xiaoji Ba looked at me in shock. How did you get in here? I clearly locked the main door downstairs. Qi Shi Yu felt Xiaoji Ba's grip loosen. She immediately gathered all her strength and kneed him in the groin. Thwack! It sounded like eggs breaking, immediately followed by a tragic scream. From Xiaoji Ba's heart-wrenching cry, "Ah!" He bent over in pain and knelt on the ground, both hands clutching what seemed to be broken. After escaping Xiaoji Ba's control, Qi Shi Yu hurriedly ran behind me. This guy is an animal. Let's go report him to a teacher, she said as she pulled my hand to run outside. I stood my ground and spoke calmly. For some animals, just relying on teachers will never teach them how to be a person. Justice has to teach them another lesson. Qi Shi Yu immediately understood what I meant and hurriedly tried to dissuade me. Don't do anything reckless. You'll go to jail for assault. Don't worry. I know my limits. After I gave her an okay sign, I strode towards Xiaoji Ba, who was kneeling and screaming on the ground. Xiaoji Ba looked up at me, walking towards him. The fire of anger on his face burned even brighter. Chen Bo, you stinking poor loser. Today, I'll let you have a taste of a 6th Dan black belt's fist, he said as he got into a taekwondo stance. There wasn't a single ripple of emotion on my face. I raised my index finger and provocatively beckoned to Xiaoji Ba. This immediately enraged Xiaoji Ba. Without another word, he lifted his leg and kicked my thigh. Oof! After his shin hit my thigh, it was like kicking a hard rock. Xiaoji Ba screamed in pain, clutching his leg. He held his leg with one hand and angrily pointed at my pocket with the other, questioning me. What's in your pocket? I gave a faint smile and took out an iron hammer from my pocket. I'm studying archaeology. It's reasonable to carry a hammer in my pocket, right? Xiaoji Ba looked at the large iron hammer, his forehead covered in dark lines. Damn it. Again. After saying that, he limped and charged towards me. The moment he threw his punch, Qi Shi Yu's heart leaped into her throat. But the speed of his punch looked like a slow-motion movie in my eyes. Just by leaning slightly, I easily dodged his attack. Because his right leg kicked the iron hammer and got fractured, he couldn't stop in time and crashed straight into a row of desks. It's over. He closed his eyes and slammed into the desk where the iron hammer was placed. The moment he fell to the ground, the hammer on the desk, due to inertia, flew forward and fell. Coincidentally, it landed right on Xiaoji Ba's right hand, which was propping him up on the floor. Crack! Another crisp sound echoed. It was followed by another miserable scream. Ah, my hand! Anger consumed his remaining sanity. He reached out and grabbed the iron hammer. his eyes bloodshot. "I'll risk my life to get you." Xiaojiba recklessly charged forward with the iron hammer. Qi Shiyu's face turned pale. "Brother, be careful." The corner of my mouth lifted slightly. Everything was within my calculations. As Xiaojiba ran towards me, I also ran towards him. When we were 2.5 meters apart, I suddenly ducked and slid through. His movements were hindered everywhere. Plus, the severe injury to his crotch, Xiaojiba's reaction was a second too slow. Just as he was about to throw the iron hammer at me, his legs were tripped by my slide tackle. His whole body flew like a cannonball straight into the teacher's podium. Bam! The decades-old wooden podium was severely eroded by termites. Being hit by Xiaojiba like that, it immediately formed a large hole. The loud noise startled the teacher, who was just on the 6th floor, having finished inventorying the usable old desks and chairs, and had just come down to the 3rd floor. He works in the West Wing, which is quite far from the East teaching building where we were. That's why he didn't hear Qi Shiyu's screams earlier. Who's in the classroom?" The balding teacher ran to the classroom door, just in time to see me with a bewildered expression, pointing at Xiaojiba, who had broken half the podium. "Sir, you're just in time." This student, while carrying a desk, wasn't careful, and his left foot tripped his right foot, and he fell flat on his face. The balding teacher glanced at the miserably screaming Xiaojiba. The skin on his face couldn't help but twitch a few times. Falling flat on his face broke the podium in half. The infirmary. The balding teacher had a serious expression. He said to me and Qi Shiyu, "In the future, if you're not accompanied by a teacher, you are not allowed to come to the old teaching building on your own. Do you understand?" The two of us lowered our heads and nodded slightly, and replied politely, "We know, sir." Then the balding teacher sighed and left, severely injured. Xiaojiba was in the infirmary for treatment. "Chenbo, you just wait. I can't do anything to you at school. Let's see if I don't find someone to block you outside the school gates." Xiaojiba clenched his fist tightly and uttered a vicious threat. As a result, because he clenched his fist too tightly, the fracture in his right hand started to hurt again. Hiss. He hurriedly and carefully relaxed his hand muscles. Actually, compared to his broken hand, the dull ache in his crotch was still there. He was a prideful person. The injury in that area was not reported. He planned to go home and deal with it himself later. He just didn't know if his reproductive ability was still intact. In the park behind the school, on a long wooden bench by the lake, Qi Shiyu was unhappy, her cheeks puffed out, her head bowed like a child who had done something wrong. I crossed my arms. After hearing the whole story from her, I let out a sigh and sat down next to her. "In the future, if you encounter someone who keeps pestering you like that, you must tell me immediately. Also, I know a rather secluded spot in the library. It's also a quiet place that no one has claimed yet. If you want to switch to a quiet place to work, it'll take you there." Qi Shiyu stole a glance at me, then quickly looked down again. Her fingers twisted the hem of her clothes as she mumbled, "Thank you." "Chenbo? What did you call me?" I raised an eyebrow slightly, raising my tone. "Qi Shiyu's." Cheeks flushed slightly, and she made a sound as faint as a mosquito's buzz. "Brother, what was that?" "I couldn't hear you. Speak up." I cupped my hand to my ear and deliberately leaned my head closer. An angry hashtag symbol appeared on Qi Shiyu's forehead. She took a deep breath, leaned close to my ear, and let out a sound like a dragon's roar. "Brother, this brother," sounded like heavenly music. My ears perked up. I nodded with immense satisfaction. That's more like it." Qi Shiyu stood up angrily and said, "Don't go home after class this afternoon. You and I have a jogging session." I laughed and waved my hand. Okay. I'll play with you this afternoon." The me of now feels no fear at all about being dragged along for a run by Qi Shiyu like before. After adding attribute points, I've become frighteningly strong. I'm itching to test my current stamina and see how much it has increased compared to before. After Qi Shiyu returned to the track and field club, I received a notification from the class group chat to go to the main hall for a meeting. I happened to run into Subai, whose one ear looked like it had been stung by a bee. It was all swollen. "Yo, I thought you'd been executed on the spot and couldn't make it." Subai rolled his eyes. "Chenbo, stop with the sarcastic remarks. This buddy of yours almost lost his life at the hands of that woman." Luckily, I reacted quickly, found a chance and slipped away immediately. That's how I escaped with my life. The two words disbelief were written all over my face. This kind of talk, I've heard 600 versions of it over the past 4 years. All right, let's go in. The meeting is about to start." Subai and I casually found an empty spot and sat down. We started listening to the boring meeting, more than half of which was nonsense. The meeting ended just in time for lunch. I originally planned to visit Qi Xiaoyu, but as soon as I entered the cafeteria, I saw the new students, due to disciplinary issues, being punished with squats by the instructor. From a great distance, I caught sight of Qi Xiaoyu. By now, she was a little tanner than in the morning and reeking of resentment. Her small eyes looked as if they could kill. Her face was filled with the two words, unconvinced. "Do 150 squats." After the instructor's lecture, the new students were finally dismissed. Don't be fooled by Qi Xiaoyu's short legs. She was the first one to run to the set meal counter. As soon as she got there, she ordered a premium char siu pork chop rice and even had it drizzled with black pepper sauce. This is such bullying. So what if we were hungry all morning and ate a little too fast, and they still punished us with 150 squats? So annoying. The girl with her hair in an onion bun sitting opposite Qi Xiaoyu, Lin Yiqing, complained once, and then took a bite of rice, then cursed again and took another bite of rice. In contrast, the starving Qi Xiaoyu just focused on eating, the type who doesn't even lift her head. Very quickly, she choked on her food because of how fast she was eating. Hiccup. Qi Xiaoyu's body shuddered. She hiccuped. Her small hand patted her chest, which was as flat as a prairie. Xiaoyu, are you choking? I have some water here. Lin Yiqing hurriedly took out her water bottle, which was more than half empty. She opened the cap and held it out to Qi Xiaoyu. Just as Qi Xiaoyu reached out to take it, a bottle of happy soda appeared before her, unopened. Without a second thought, she immediately snatched the soda bottle, twisted off the cap, and started chugging it, emitting a high-quality drinking sound effect. Gulp, 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 burp. After drinking half the bottle, she let out a long burp. The blocked feeling in her throat immediately disappeared. Don't eat so fast. Take it slow. No one's going to steal it from you. Hearing a familiar voice from behind, Qi Xiaoyu suddenly turned her head. It was me with a smile on my face. Seeing me suddenly appear, Qi Xiaoyu shyly lowered her head. Brother, how did you find me? Silly. I'm your brother, after all. Your height and hairstyle are too conspicuous. Standing in a crowd, it took me less than 5 seconds to find you. I confidently held up one hand. Ding. Detected Qi Xiaoyu heard the host call her short and is secretly angry. Skill points +1. Qi Xiaoyu's cheeks puffed up like a pufferfish. Without the system's reminder, I already knew she was angry. Sigh. Okay. Actually, I just happened to run into you, so I thought I'd buy you a drink. I hurriedly found an excuse to cover it up. Gullible Qi Xiaoyu believed it and broke into a happy smile. The silly tuft of hair on her head also swayed along. Thank you, brother, for the happy soda. You're welcome. You go ahead and eat. I won't bother you girls anymore. Remember not to rush home after you're dismissed this afternoon. Xiaoyu and I will come get you to go home together. Qi Xiaoyu nodded like a woodpecker. I know. After I left, Lin Yiqing opposite her had a serious expression, eyes like she was interrogating a criminal. She stared at Qi Xiaoyu. Heh. Qi Xiaoyu, you're something else. Daring to date someone secretly behind my back. Who's that handsome guy? Why have I never heard you mention him before? Lin Yiqing is Qi Xiaoyu's best friend. The two have been friends since high school. Qi Xiaoyu scratched her head, her gaze shifting elsewhere. He's not my boyfriend. He's my brother. Lin Yiqing's eyes widened in surprise. Your brother? Then she dropped her serious expression and broke into a teasing smile. She leaned her head in front of Qi Xiaoyu. Hey. So, does your brother have a girlfriend yet? What do you think of me? Qi Xiao. You raised an eyebrow slightly. The corner of her mouth slowly curled up. Sorry. Lin Yiqing. My brother already has a girlfriend, and she's cuter than you. Lin Yiqing recoiled in shock. Cuter than me? Immediately after, she leaned in again and hurriedly asked, Who is it? Is she as cute as my Xiaoyu? Qi Xiaoyu gave a mysterious smile, smiling without saying a word. The evening glow rose on the horizon. After finishing her work at the track and field club and her studies, Qi Xiaoyu changed into a set of sportswear. She carried a milk tea bag containing her old clothes and appeared at the entrance of the track field. I just got the message and brought along 2 bottles of water as I ran over. Sorry, I made you wait. So, how are we training today? I asked Qi Xiaoyu with a smile. At the same time, I offered her a bottle of mineral water. Qi Xiaoyu wasn't polite about it. She took the mineral water and casually put it in her bag. Immediately after, the corner of her mouth lifted into a meaningful smile. Very simple. Follow my pace for 2 laps around the academy. Hearing these words, my eyes narrowed slightly. Tisk! This little girl wants to get me that badly? 1 lap around this damn school is 6 kilometers long. 2 laps, 12 kilometers is almost the standard for a half marathon. If it were before, I probably wouldn't have been able to handle more than 1 lap. But now? Let's play. Let's see who plays whom in the end. I accepted the challenge without hesitation. Okay, so where do we start? Qi Xiaoyu was a bit surprised to see me agree so quickly. She couldn't help but be a little dazed. This guy didn't hesitate at all. Before, when I dragged him to go jogging, he would come up with a ton of excuses to refuse. We haven't seen each other for just 1 year. Qi Xiaoyu felt that I had become much more unfamiliar. Let's start here. I'm going to put my stuff away. After saying that, Qi Xiaoyu placed her bag next to the steps. She warmed up her limbs and came to my side. She looked up at me. Ready? I gave her an okay sign. No problem. Give the signal to start. Okay. As soon as we started, I was already running parallel to Qi Xiaoyu raised her eyebrows in surprise. I used to always run behind her, finding every possible way to slack off. Could this guy be trying to show off his big brother demeanor in front of me? Don't even think about it. Thinking about the possibility that I was just posturing, Qi Xiaoyu sped up a little. I said nothing and quietly kept pace. She thought I wouldn't last long, But as it turned out, 10 minutes later, after running 2.5 kilometers, I was still running right beside Chi, with absolutely no sign of falling behind. Even my breathing was frighteningly calm. Seeing this, Chi couldn't help but have a drop of sweat form on her forehead. This guy. In the year we haven't met, has he actually been training his stamina? The corner of Chi mouth curled up. She sped up again, and this time, she directly increased her speed to that of a professional half-marathon runner, jumping up 2 levels at once. She thought she could surely leave me behind now, but the next second I continued running beside her as if nothing had happened. I even turned my head with a teasing smile and asked, "Need to stop for a drink?" Chi gritted her teeth and shook her head forcefully. "No need. This distance isn't enough to require refueling." Damn it. She refused to believe that after another 2 kilometers, this foolish brother of hers could still be smiling. After 2 kilometers, Chi breathing started to become heavy. A trace of fatigue appeared on her face, but I, the person she was confident would not be able to keep up with her, was still maintaining a gentle smile, running beside her. My breathing was no different from 2 kilometers ago. What on earth has this damn brother been doing for the past year? We've only been apart for a year. Has his stamina already caught up to mine? Chi screamed internally. At this moment, I reminded her. We're approaching the starting point at the track field gate ahead. Let's take a sip of water and continue. This time, Chi did not refuse. After stopping for a quick drink, they immediately set off to run the remaining lap. Having just run 1 lap, I already had a preliminary understanding of my current stamina. Up until now, I still haven't felt tired. Seeing Chi constantly accelerating to provoke me, the corner of my mouth lifted slightly. This little girl, you're the one who started it. Don't come crying to me later. The next second, I suddenly accelerated, overtaking Chi by 2 body lengths. Chi was stunned. She didn't understand what I was trying to do. Hey, there's still 5 kilometers to go. Why are you sprinting? Be careful not to tire yourself out. It's fine. I just feel like this isn't enough of a workout, just increasing the difficulty for myself. Xiao Yu, just run at your own pace. Chi angrily retorted with harsh words. Don't be reckless. If you faint, I'm not going to save you. After I pulled ahead of my sister by 2 body lengths, I consistently maintained this speed. I didn't pull further ahead, not because my stamina had reached its limit, but because I was afraid that if I got any further, Chi would start cussing people out. Her strong competitive spirit urged her on. Chi wanted to surpass me, but her current speed was already her limit. Trying to push past her limits, if something were to happen, I would definitely scold her for it. Another 10+ minutes passed. The 2 of them returned to the original starting point, completing the 2-lap long-distance run. Huff, huff. She gasped for air, her hands on her knees. Sweat had soaked half of her shirt. The sweat on her face trickled down, her chin dripping onto the pavement. I took the half-full bottle of water from her bag and held it out to her. Here you go. Thank you. Chi took the water bottle, opened the cap, tilted her head back, and took big gulps. At the same time, while wiping the sweat from my forehead, I asked with a smile. So? I didn't fall behind this time. Wasn't that an exhilarating run? Chi crossed her arms, pouted, and turned her head to the side. Don't get too smug. Today's performance was okay. But who knows about tomorrow, the day after, or the day after that? Ding. Detected that the host's performance today has greatly astonished Chi. She feels a bit unconvinced in her heart. Keep it up. You are about to make Chi break down. Successfully breaking down Chi will reward the title certified straight man, plus 5 strength points. I glared at the system angrily. Kid, go play somewhere else. I'm the good big brother of 3 sisters. How could I make my adorable sister break down? You can keep the certified straight man title for yourself. I looked up at the fiery red sunset in the sky and asked, oh right, Xiao Yu, what time is it now? The youngest should be dismissed soon, right? Chi looked at the time on her watch. It's exactly 5:20. After announcing this time, both of them were stunned. Immediately after, their expressions changed slightly. They shouted in unison, "We're dead, little sister." On the small, tree-lined path home, I took Chi Xiaoyu's bag of clothes. Chi Xiu giggled and massaged her shoulders. Hey, Xiaoyu. Big brother is helping you carry your luggage. Good girl, Xiaoyu. Don't be angry. Let me rub your shoulders for you, okay? At this moment, Chi Xiaoyu crossed her arms over her chest. Her cheeks were puffed up like an inflated balloon. You 2 big liars. You said you come pick me up. But I ended up sitting there foolishly for nearly half an hour, and no one came to pick me up. Chi Xiu and I looked at each other awkwardly. The 2 of us were so engrossed in jogging, we completely forgot about the time, making poor Chi Xiaoyu wait for us for so long. I bowed my head and apologized sincerely. I was wrong, little sister. If I forget to pick you up again tomorrow, I'll carry you home on my back. Ding. Detected that Chi Xiaoyu thinks sitting on my back would be very fun. Favorability plus 1%, skill points plus 1. Chi Xiaoyu nodded in satisfaction. Then she looked at Chi Xiu on the other side, waiting for her to make a promise. Chi Xiu pursed her lips and said through gritted teeth, It'll be like Chen Bo. If I don't come pick you up, I'll carry you home on my back. After receiving a satisfactory answer, Chi Xiao, you finally retracted her gaze. She opened her mouth and said, "I want to eat McDonald's fried chicken tonight." Without a second thought, I immediately agreed. "Okay, no problem. I also want to drink taro bubble milk tea. Leave it to me." Chishiyu took on this task. I looked at the clock and suggested, "There's still enough time. There's a supermarket near our house. Let's go buy some ingredients for dinner tonight." Chi Xiaoyu happily raised her hand. "Yeah, I want to go." Chishiyu nodded in agreement. "Then let's go. It's the first day we moved into the new house. The fridge is still empty. All right, I'll ask what Xiao Shui likes to eat while we're at it." I took out my phone. Just as I was about to type a message to ask Qi Ying Shui, she sent a message. "Brother, I'm not coming home tonight. There's a small performance in the city tomorrow. I have to leave tonight." I was a bit stunned. Then I typed a reply. "All right, be careful on your way. Text me when you get there." I sighed and put my phone away. I looked at my two little sisters. Xiao Shui has a performance tomorrow. She has to leave tonight. She won't be back for dinner. Qi Xiaoyu exclaimed. "Big sis has to perform again? She's been so busy lately." The two sisters were used to their eldest sister not eating dinner at home. In the world of violin, Qi Ying Shui is a famous rising star. Even her Douyin account has several million followers. It's quite normal for her to be a little busy. In the largest supermarket in Punong Town, I bought some lettuce, beef, and tofu, and some other miscellaneous spices. Finally, we went to the seafood section to see if there was any delicious and cheap seafood. Although Auntie Chi is a female CEO with assets over 100 million, she doesn't let her daughters spend money recklessly. So all three sisters are dirt poor. The one with the most money is actually me. So expensive. Black tiger prawns are 80 yuan per half kilo. Flounder is 110 yuan per half kilo. Why don't they just rob people? Chi Shiyu looked at the prices, which were even more expensive than in the city. Then she looked at the few hundred yuan in her purse. Her head spun for a moment. I smiled and said, "I heard this place was affected by a typhoon not long ago. Seafood is very expensive right now, but it's okay. Just tell me what you want to eat. You'll pay for it." Chi Shiyu lowered her head and mumbled, "That's easy for you to say, but I can't just let you keep spending money. I also want to share the burden with you." Before she could finish her sentence, she was interrupted by someone wandering around the other stalls. Chi Xiaoyu pointed at a foam box and shouted, interrupting her words, "Brother, the abalone here is so cheap. Let me take a look." I strode over. This silly loli didn't shout earlier or later. Chi Shiyu stomped her foot angrily, and then quickened her pace to follow. I arrived at the stall Chi Xiaoyu pointed to, and saw the wrinkled edge abalone in the foam box, and the price of 5 yuan each. My eyes immediately lit up. Tisk, tisk, what a bargain. This abalone is so fresh and delicious. Following behind me, Chi Shiyu heard words like fresh and delicious abalone. She, who had read some forbidden knowledge, immediately understood. Her cheeks couldn't help but flush red hot. I turned my head to look at Chi Shiyu. "Xiao Yu, do you want to eat some fresh and delicious wrinkled edge abalone?" Chi Shiyu instinctively covered her face and dodged. Anything is fine. Ding. Detected that the host's sister. Chi Shiyu is having wild thoughts. Please guide her onto the right path. This is the mission of a big brother. I don't know what crazy thing the system is up to, but I saw Chi Shiyu. Her face was as red as a monkey's butt. "Why is your face so red?" It clearly wasn't just now. "You don't have a fever, do you?" I stood up worriedly, wanting to check on Chi Shiyu's condition, but she kept dodging. "No, I'm fine. It's just a little hot in here. Let's just hurry up and buy the food so we can go home and turn on the air conditioner." "All right then. If you feel unwell, don't force yourself. You have to tell me right away." Seeing that Chi Shiyu wouldn't cooperate with the check, I had no choice but to give up. Then I turned back to choose abalone with Chi Xiaoyu. We chose all the freshest and most delicious ones. That's because this type of abalone has firm meat. Being a bit fresher means it will be a bit more tender when you eat it. While the two of them were choosing abalone, Chi Shiyu kept lightly slapping her own cheeks. Ah, get these strange thoughts out of my head. What kind of nonsense am I thinking about? At this moment, she really wanted to find a hole to crawl into. After buying 10 abalones, the three of them headed home. I was the main cook for dinner. Chi Shiyu helped out by my side. "Xiao Yu, help me shuck these 10 abalones." While I was preparing the beef, I put the abalone in a basket and handed it to Chi Shiyu. "Okay." Chi Shiyu took the basket and placed it in the vegetable sink. As soon as she picked up an abalone and gave it a light squeeze, she ended up with water sprayed all over her face. Sploosh. Seeing this, I almost couldn't hold back my laughter. Chi Shiyu dazedly wiped the water off her face and shot me a fierce glare. She didn't say anything, but it was as if she'd said everything. Haha. "Let me show you how to handle abalone." As I spoke, I went over to teach Chi Shiyu how to prepare the abalone. The process was a bit difficult, so much so that Chi Xiaoyu, who was watching cartoons outside, had to wait for a whole hour before getting to eat dinner. Luckily, for her late-night snack, she had fried chicken and taro bubble milk tea. Otherwise, she probably would have been too angry to sleep tonight. Time passed to the afternoon of the next day. Chi Shiyu didn't have classes, because the cafeteria was too crowded at noon. By the time it was her turn to get food, there was nothing left to eat. Not feeling full, she bought a small cake, but ended up with 2 bites left over, so she thought of bringing it to me. After finding my classroom, she carefully poked her head in and scanned the inside, but she couldn't see me anywhere. At this moment, my best friend, Subai, happened to be going into the classroom to get something. After seeing Chi-Shi-yu acting sneakily, he recognized her identity immediately. "You're President Chi of the track and field club, right?" Chi-Shi-yu jumped in surprise and quickly calmed her wildly beating heart. She forced a smile at Subai. "Yes, senior. May I ask if you know student Chenbo?" At the mention of my name, Subai's eyes widened, because he finally realized. Chi-Shi-yu's second identity, I remember now. "President Chi, you were Chenbo's girlfriend in your freshman year." As soon as these words were spoken, Chi-Shi-yu's expression changed drastically. She immediately lunged forward to cover Subai's mouth. "Shh." She finally remembered too. "The Subai before her was my best friend. You can know, that's fine, but don't say it out loud," Chi-Shi-yu warned Subai in a low voice, having finally caught my best friend. Chi-Shi-yu was very curious about what I had been doing in the past year when she hadn't seen me. Starting now, "I'll ask, you'll answer. Got it?" Subai nodded hastily to show he understood. Then she released the hand covering Subai's mouth and beckoned with her finger, signaling for Subai to follow. Not long after, the two of them arrived at the empty stairwell at the end of the hall. "I'm asking you." Haha. "That bastard Chenbo, after he broke up with me, did he date someone else? How dare you test my loyalty to my brother? I am a dignified man, even if you torture me. I would never sell out my good brother," Subai screamed resolutely in his heart. Just as he was about to open his mouth, Chi-Shi-yu raised her voice and added another sentence. "You're not allowed to cover for him. Otherwise, for this year's school sports meet, I will sign you up for every single event. Speak. Did he get a new girlfriend?" "Just because these three little sisters are all my ex-girlfriends," Subai answered Chi-Shi-yu without the slightest hesitation. "Yes." Chi-Shi-yu frowned. "Who is it?" "I don't know. She's not from our school. I've never met her. I really don't know who she is." Chi-Shi-yu gritted her teeth. How unreasonable. This pig head. "So where are he and that girl at now?" Subai shrugged. "They broke up, and it was just a few days ago." Chi-Shi-yu was stunned. This twist is too sudden. "So, did they kiss when they were dating?" Subai frowned slightly. He thought for a moment, then shook his head and replied, "No. Something that big. If Chenbo had kissed her, he would definitely have shared it with his good brother, who would never betray him like me." Chi-Shi-yu brought a finger to her lips and mumbled. A faint smile unknowingly appeared on her lips. "In other words, my first kiss is still intact." "Last question. Where is he now?" "Second floor of the library." After getting the location, Chi-Shi-yu left with the cake. Subai watched Chi-Shi-yu's departing back. Regarding her previous questions, he was a little confused. How strange. Could it be that Chenbo and this president of the track and field club, who can be compared to Zhu Xiaolan, that Sichuan Chongqing Tyrannosaurus Rex, got back together again? Right at this moment, a girl with sparkling eyes came up from the bottom of the stairs and slammed her palm onto Subai's shoulder, uttering a deadly whisper. "Who did you call a Sichuan Chongqing Tyrannosaurus Rex?" "The second floor of the library. I was hiding in a hidden corner, flipping through materials, and writing my thesis. After finishing the book in my hand and realizing it didn't have the content I wanted, I sighed helplessly. This damn thesis is so annoying." I picked up the useless book, left my seat, and planned to put it back on the shelf. After arriving there, I carefully confirmed that this was the right bookshelf, and began to put the book in my hand away. When it was halfway in, a girl in a blue and white dress walked in. Her head was always looking up, as if she was looking for books on the top shelf. She walked over to my side and happened to find the book she wanted. Because the position was too high, she carefully tried not to make any noise and brought over a high stool. She stepped on it and stood on her tiptoes, barely managing to reach the books on the top shelf. After a lot of effort to get the book she wanted, she breathed a sigh of relief. However, just as she turned to step off the stool, the old stool finally couldn't take it anymore. One of its legs broke. Crack. Ah. Guwai's expression changed slightly, and her body fell towards me. When I came back to my senses, it was too late to dodge or catch her. Thud. After a loud noise, I was pinned underneath Guwei. My hands were supporting Guwai's body, preventing the two of us from being in full contact. But the places where my hands were supporting her were in full contact. Coincidentally, Chi-Shi-yu happened to arrive outside the library at this very moment. She looked in through the window and saw me, using both hands to support the falling Guwei. In that instant, Chi-Shi-yu was struck by lightning and froze on the spot. Her pupils were experiencing a 10-magnitude earthquake. She couldn't believe what she was seeing. Didn't they say he didn't have a girlfriend? Then what is this? They've already gotten to this stage. This pighead. Chi-Shi-yu turned her head and left, as if she had made some sort of decision. Ting. Detected that Chi-Shi-yu has misunderstood, that you were doing that with a stranger. She is currently very angry. Host, please go and explain quickly, otherwise it will be too late. At this moment, after I realized what I was holding, my mind went blank. I remembered the system's advice, but now I didn't dare to move, afraid that with just one move, Police sirens would be wailing outside, and I'd end up at the station drinking tea. Gu Wei was the same. Moreover, a blush gradually spread across her face, reaching all the way to her ears. Just like that, the two of us remained frozen for a full 2.5 minutes. Finally, my hands started to get a bit tired. I couldn't hold on any longer, so I braced myself and reminded the student, "Can you get up now? My hands are numb." Sorry. Gu Wei stood up in a panic. For a moment, she didn't know whether to pick up the book on the floor or help me up or brush the dust off herself while she was thinking. I had already stood up and brushed the dust off myself, temporarily ignoring the lingering warmth in my palms. I picked up the book on the floor and handed it to Gu Wei. "Here's your book." "Thank you." Gu Wei was a bit dazed, not looking very smart. "Classmate, are you okay? If you're okay, you'll go first. There's something urgent I need to handle." Gu Wei shook her head. I'm fine. And you?" "I'm fine too. I'm leaving now. See you if we're fated." I hadn't finished speaking, but I had already run off. Gu Wei opened her mouth, wanting to ask my name, but I had already run out of the library, helplessly. She closed her mouth again. Under a banyan tree on the track field, Chi Shi Yu was sitting on the stone bench surrounding the banyan tree. She stuffed the remaining 2 bites of cake into her mouth in a few bites. Her mouth immediately puffed up like a squirrel with its cheeks full of nuts. At this moment, after searching around, I finally found her at the edge of the track field. I walked towards Chi Shi Yu carrying a bag of cookies. "Phew. Finally found you. I bought some snacks this morning. These cookies haven't been finished yet. I remembered you like them, so I brought them here." Chi Shi Yu chewed the cake in her mouth a couple of times and tilted her head back to swallow with difficulty. "So what? Did you specifically look for me just to give me cookies?" The smell of gunpowder coming from Chi Shi Yu's mouth made me certain that Chi Shi Yu must have seen the crime scene. Heh. "Actually, there's another thing I wanted to ask. If you need me to train with you this evening." I gritted my teeth and played dumb, trying to gauge how angry Chi Shi Yu was. Chi Shi Yu narrowed her eyes and didn't answer me. Instead, she asked something else. "Let me ask you a question. After you broke up with me, did you get a new girlfriend?" I sucked in a cold breath. My scalp tingled. This question really put me in a tough spot, but for the sake of harmony between us siblings in the future, I decided to tell a small lie. "Yes, actually we only dated for a week. Then, because she ate too much and ate my wallet clean, we broke up." Chi Shi Yu raised an eyebrow slightly. She thought I would lie, but unexpectedly, I confessed quite honestly. Then she asked again curiously, "So you two didn't get back together after breaking up, right? In other words, you didn't find someone new." I glared at her in annoyance. "Do you think I'm a succubus? Finding someone new just a few days after a breakup? As for getting back together, that definitely didn't happen. I'm now an official member of the singles club." Chi Shi Yu's eyes narrowed slightly. "Then can I ask, what was the name of the ex-girlfriend you just broke up with?" My heart stopped. She finally asked the most crucial question. "There's no way I can reveal it's Chi Xiao Yu. If I let Chi Shi Yu know that, sis, Tira's my ex-girlfriend, I'm afraid we won't be able to maintain a normal sibling relationship anymore. Of course, on the other hand, letting Chi Xiao Yu know that Chi Shi Yu is my ex-girlfriend is also not an option." So, the answer I gave was, "Her name is Wang Xiaomei. She's a long-legged beauty with a D cup." Chi Shi Yu was a little stunned. Really, more real than real. Chi Shi Yu silently stared into my eyes, wanting to see if I was lying. As a result, I didn't even blink. I just stared right back at her. On the contrary, it made Chi Shi Yu a little less confident. She had to look away. Seeing that my answer was flawless, she stopped pretending and asked directly about what just happened. "So, what I saw in the library earlier. What was with the campus belle falling on you? Do you know her?" "Campus belle. She's the campus belle? I didn't know. Earlier, she was standing on a chair to get a book and accidentally fell on me. I definitely didn't mean to catch anything," I explained with an innocent expression. I thought to myself, she's finally getting to the main point. The fact that Gu Wei is the campus belle of Daehu University, I really didn't know. I'm not one for gossip either. I wouldn't go around listening to this kind of nonsense. My standards for a partner are definitely not the type where my values follow my senses. Besides, Gu Wei is indeed very beautiful, but I still think she's not as beautiful as Qi and Shui. When Chi Shi Yu heard the words "catch anything," veins popped on her forehead. She gritted her teeth so hard they squeaked. "So, do you like big balls? Or small balls?" As she said this, Chi Shi Yu intentionally or unintentionally puffed out her chest. I'm not a picky eater. Big or small, they're all fine. I don't choose the biggest or the smallest, nor do I take the average. I choose all of them." Chi Shi Yu's eyelids twitched twice. She took a deep breath, relaxing her muscles, trying to control her urge to hit someone. Ding. Detected that second sister Chi Shi Yu's misunderstanding of you has been cleared, but a new problem has arrived. She really wants to know if you like them big or small. If you tell the truth, you will be rewarded with 100 skill points. I looked speechless. "Shut up, system. I just said it. I'm fine with any size." Ding. detecting a genuine fluctuation in the host's inner thoughts right now. He likes them small. He has a special affection for washboards. My smile vanished. The murderous intent in my eyes couldn't be hidden. Just you wait, you damn system. When I get home, I'll find a big ball to have a legendary captain experience. Ding. Host, please reconsider. It's fine to deceive others, but deceiving yourself is not right. Hey. Chi Shiyu's voice pulled me back to reality. Why is your face turning all sorts of colors? You don't have a fever, do you? I forced a stiff smile. It's nothing. It's just a little hot. My expression just changed a bit. Chi Shiyu frowned deeply, half believing, half doubting. Seeing this, I immediately changed the subject. Oh, right. Are you training later? Chi Shiyu shook her head. During the days our youngest sister is at military training, I'm temporarily stopping my running practice, otherwise I might run for a bit and forget about her. Wait until she finishes her military training. You can run with me again, okay? Just as she closed her mouth. She suddenly opened it again to add something. Of course, if you're too busy or don't want to run, just say so. Chi Shiyu knew the reason I broke up with her before was because she was too rigid, demanding that I run with her every day. Now she wants to change a little, at least to let me choose for myself. Looking at Chi Shiyu with her head down, I gave a satisfied smile. Okay, I'll let you know when I'm free. 6 days passed in the blink of an eye. Chi Xiaoyu successfully completed her military training, getting several shades darker. Right now, she was wearing a baggy tank top, lazily lying face down on the soft sofa. The white marks left by her bra straps on her back were very prominent. When I brought food out from the kitchen, I couldn't help but steal a few glances. As a result, Chi Shiyu, coming out of the bathroom, caught me red-handed. She put her hands on her hips, annoyed, and glanced at Chi Xiaoyu on the sofa. Youngest sister. How many times have I told you to dress properly when you leave your room? Otherwise, a certain big bad wolf will start drooling. Chi Shiyu grabbed the pajama top draped over the back of the sofa and threw it onto Chi Xiaoyu, perfectly covering her back. The not-so-bright Chi Xiaoyu lifted her head and looked around. Where's the big bad wolf? I pretended like nothing happened, whistling as I continued to serve the food. Chi Shiyu facepalmed helplessly. My youngest sister is good at everything, except she likes to give things away for free. Once, she even saw Chi Xiaoyu come out of the shower with her bare butt showing, running back to her room to get dressed. She would absolutely not allow this situation to happen in the current house. After all, in the house right now, there really is a big bad wolf living here. After dinner, I lay lazily on the sofa. I was the one who cooked. So naturally, the two sisters were the ones washing the dishes. Tomorrow is Saturday. Where should we go? I searched for nearby entertainment spots on my phone. This week, I spent it with Chi Shiyu and Chi Xiaoyu, living a relatively peaceful school life. The favorability and skill points increased quite slowly. Both of their favorability points are still under 20. As for skill points, I currently have 20 unused skill points. I still haven't figured out which professional skill to unlock, so for now, I am letting them gather dust in my inventory. Just then, Qian Shui, who 2 days ago had gone to another province for a concert, sent me several messages in a row. Brother, the 3 QR codes above are the concert tickets. Below are 3 high-speed rail tickets. If you're free tomorrow, please bring Xiaoyu and Xiaoyu to Longhu City to watch me perform. Longhu City. It seems to be over 300 kilometers away. A day trip should be enough time, I mumbled to myself, then looked towards the kitchen and asked in a loud voice, Xiaoyu, do you want to go to Longhu City? Go out to play? When it comes to playing, Chi Xiaoyu was the first to stick her head out of the kitchen, nodding. Your big sister invited us to a concert. Yes, I want to go too. Not to be outdone, Chi Shiyu also stuck her head out and replied, all right then, it's settled. Well, wake up a little early tomorrow. Otherwise, if we miss the high-speed train, this trip will be for nothing. The next day, at the crack of dawn, the alarm clock the two sisters set went off 5 times. Even so, it couldn't wake these two sleepyheads. On Chi Shiyu's side, she even. When the alarm went off the first time, threw the clock from her bedside table, sending it flying straight into the slightly open wardrobe. In the end, it was still up to the human alarm clock, me, to wake the two sisters up. After a simple breakfast, we immediately rushed to catch the high-speed train. Luckily, we got on the train 10 minutes before the doors closed. Phew, glad we made it. I wiped the sweat from my forehead. I was sandwiched in the middle, looking at the two sisters on either side of me. Who was it last night that swore up and down that they would definitely wake up on time this morning? Chi Xiaoyu hung her head low, like a child who did something wrong, waiting for my lecture. Chi Shiyu opened her mouth, about to make an excuse. Next time we'll weld the clock to the headboard. The high-speed train started moving. Less than 10 minutes later, the steady speed was like a lullaby. Chi Xiaoyu's body swayed continuously, her eyelids as heavy as lead. Soon, she finally couldn't take it anymore. Her head plopped heavily onto my arm, and she started snoring steadily. It was originally a warm scene, but for some reason, Chi Shiyu felt a sourness in her heart, and a hint of jealousy welled up. What is this feeling? Could it be that I still hold on to the lingering affection for this guy from when we were lovers? Chi Xiu clutched her chest. Her heartbeat was clearly much faster than before. She peeked at Chi Xiaoyu sleeping on, my arm pursing her lips. At that moment, she made some kind of decision. Then Chi Xiu relaxed her body, closed her eyes, swayed for a moment, and then gently leaned against my other shoulder. I looked at the one on my left and the one on my right, their heads resting on my shoulders, and scratched my head helplessly. Are they really that sleepy? They weren't so excited last night that they couldn't sleep and stayed up all night, were they? Dang. Detected that the sisters are sound asleep, on your arm and shoulder. There's a sense of security being enveloped. They are sleeping very well. Both sisters' favorability, plus 1%, skill points, plus 1. Just like that, I held the same position for nearly an hour, until we arrived at the Longhu City high-speed rail station. Only then did I shake the two sisters awake. We're at the station, you sleepyheads. Chi Xiaoyu groggily opened her eyes, looking like she hadn't fully booted up yet. Chi Xiu woke up with a start. I fell asleep earlier. Chi Xiu had only intended to lean on my shoulder for a quick nap. She didn't expect to fall fast asleep without realizing it. Let's go, we're at the station. Chi Xiu, with a blushing face, meekly followed me off the train. So embarrassing. I slept on his shoulder the whole way. Does he hate me now? Chi Xiu nervously bit her nails. I noticed Chi Xiu was falling further and further behind me, so I stopped and turned to look at her and asked with a smile, "What's wrong? Didn't get enough sleep?" "We still have a way to go to the opera house. You can continue once we get in the car. You can rest your head on my shoulder for a bit." Chi Xiu was a little stunned. The blush on her face deepened. She immediately bowed her head and shook it. "No need. I'm not sleepy anymore." Seeing my teasing expression, Chi Xiu knew she had worried for nothing. He never hated me from the beginning. Backstage at the opera house, Qian Shui was wearing a formal dress, a low-cut white one, having just received my text message. After a quick glance, an excited and expectant smile appeared on her face. "We just got off the high-speed train and are now taking a taxi to your place with the second and youngest sisters. Looking forward to your performance. Good luck, Xiao Shui. You're the best." Qian Shui clenched her fists, cheering herself on. The first time performing in front of Brother Bo. I must make Brother Bo like the music I play. The time she spent with me before wasn't long. Back then, she wasn't famous yet, and she had never played the violin for me. After they broke up, they never saw each other again. Performing a piece of music in front of me had always been Qianzhu's wish. Now, it was finally about to come true. She couldn't help but feel a little nervous. Just then, her instructor suddenly rushed in. "There's a problem, and Shui. The pianist had a car accident on the way here and has been rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment. He's still unconscious." Qianzhu's pupils contracted. The piece she was supposed to perform on stage later was a duet for piano and violin. Now that the pianist is in trouble, it also means this performance will be cancelled. The instructor clenched his fist and said emphatically, "There's no other way. The pianist can't make it. This performance can't go on. We'll forfeit this competition. Next time, we'll win back today's honor tenfold." This concert was actually also an emerging music competition for young people. Qian Shui's duo was undoubtedly the final trump card. But besides her, there was a rival who was no less skilled than her. This rival and Qian Shui were also sworn enemies. Teacher Chen was afraid Qian Shui would be defeated before even trying, affecting her mood, so he was currently spouting a stream of empty encouragement. Qian Shui didn't hear a single word. She didn't care about winning or losing at all, only about not being able to perform a piece for me, to show her true self. After a moment of internal struggle, Qian Shui bit her lip and clenched her fists. Having made some sort of decision, she looked up and looked at her instructor seriously. "We're continuing the competition. I will perform Paganini's La Campanella as a solo." She didn't want me to have made the trip for nothing, nor did she want to leave with any regrets. She had to participate in this performance no matter what. The rules stipulated a piano and violin duo, but solos were also allowed. After hearing her say that she wanted to perform La Campanella solo, his eyes nearly bulged out of their sockets. The violin solo for this piece. At Qian Shui's age, no one had ever successfully performed it as a violin solo. And Shui, don't be reckless. This is just a small, normal competition. There's no need to put so much pressure on yourself. If you push yourself to the point of breaking down your future path. Before Teacher Chen could finish, Qian Shui impatiently cut him off with her eyes closed. "That's enough. Teacher Chen, I've made up my mind. Please stop nagging. Go away." Teacher Chen's mouth opened and closed and opened again, unable to utter a single word for the longest time. Just then, a girl in a one-piece dress, a black one with lace trim, walked into the backstage preparation room. She walked up to Qian Shui with a fake smile. "I heard your partner ran into some trouble. Are you planning to drop out later? What a pity. I wanted to compete with you, but it looks like you'll just have to take the championship trophy home, without any challenge." Jiang Wenwen let out a feigned sigh of regret. That's right, she was Qian Shui's sworn enemy. They both debuted at the same time, and their skills were not far apart. But unfortunately, Qian Shue's beauty was a notch above, causing the public's attention to be mostly focused on her, while overlooking a heaven-sent talent like Zhang Wenwen. This also made Zhang Wenwen resent Qian Shui, wanting to defeat her every second of every hour. A year ago, the two happened to meet at a competition. Qian Shui calmly finished performing a piece. When it was Zhang Wenwen's turn, she made a small mistake due to nervousness, resulting in a score 2.5 points lower than Qian Shui's, regretfully ended up as the runner-up. From that moment on, she was determined to defeat Qian Shui, to prove to the public that the new generation had only one violin prodigy, and that was her, Zhang Wenwen. Faced with Zhang Wenwen's taunts, Qian Shui gave her a cold glance and replied, "I will continue to participate in solo form. You don't need to worry about it." After speaking, she left the preparation room without looking back and went to a private soundproof room to practice for a bit. Zhang Wenwen heard these words and stood stunned for a long time. Solo performance. Is she crazy? It's impossible to perform a solo for this competition's theme. What is she trying to show off? The corner of Zhang Wenwen's mouth curled into a cold smile, completely disbelieving that Qian Shui could complete the solo piece. Let's see how you end up. The entrance of the Longhu Grand Theater. The three of us smoothly passed through the ticket gate into the theater. Qian Shui had arranged the best viewing seats for us, quite close to the front row. Qi Xiaoyu looked around. After seeing that it was full of people, she exclaimed, "There are so many people. Is classical music really that good? Why do I feel like big sisters? Violin playing sounds like sawing wood." The corner of Qi Shiyu's mouth twitched slightly. "You better not let big sister hear you say that, otherwise your daily dinner will definitely be missing a chicken leg." Qi Xiaoyu's small body trembled, so scared that she quickly covered her mouth. Not long after, the lights in the auditorium suddenly went out, leaving only the lights on the stage. The two sisters and I immediately looked up, our gazes fixed on the stage. The chatter of the other audience members died down after the lights went out. Everyone was focused on the stage. Very quickly, the first contestant took the stage. Although I don't know how to appreciate classical music, the girl with braids on stage, I do know how to appreciate. Qi Shiyu felt an inexplicable sense of danger, and unconsciously glanced at me beside her. She found my gaze fixed on the little girl playing the violin. A huge question mark appeared over her head. She secretly pinched my side. Hiss. That sharp pain made me sit up straight immediately. I turned to look at Qi Shiyu, who had noticed my attention, and gave a sheepish, apologetic grin. Qi Shiyu glared at me, a faint scent of sour vinegar hanging in the air. I was speechless. What the heck is this girl doing? Her own brother just took a few extra glances at a pretty girl, and she suddenly gets jealous. What I didn't know was that Qi Shiyu still held feelings for me from when we were lovers, whereas I now simply saw Qi Shiyu as my sister. The girl with the braids finished her performance. The next person to take the stage was Zhang Wenwen. As soon as she appeared, a small wave of excitement went through the audience. "Oh my god, this violin prodigy star actually came too. It's normal. She and the violin princess have always been sworn enemies. She probably wants to challenge herself this time and defeat the violin princess Qian Shui. Tisk, tisk, tisk. What a bargain, what a bargain. We get to see two of the top young generation violinists face off with one ticket. Worth it." I listened to the gossiping crowd and rested my chin on my hand, thinking. I looked at Qi Shiyu and Qi Xiaoyu and asked, "Xiao Shui has a sworn enemy? Do you two know?" Qi Shiyu shook her head. "I don't know. I've never heard Big Sister talk about her." Qi Xiaoyu lazily leaned back in her chair, half of her butt sliding off the seat. "Just a small fry. My sister's wood sawing is enough to crush her. What's she gonna do?" Qi Shiyu angrily reached out her hand and slapped my thigh. "When you talk, don't use swear words." Qi Xiaoyu pouted and replied perfunctorily, "Got it." What Qi Shiyu didn't know was, Qi Xiaoyu and Qi Ying Shui once ran into Zhang Wenwen while they were out shopping. At that time, Zhang Wenwen had said many nasty things to provoke and belittle Qi Ying Shui. Qi Xiaoyu had seen this whole scene. Although Qi Ying Shui was generous and didn't care at all what Zhang Wenwen said about her, but that didn't mean Qi Xiaoyu wouldn't care. That's why she spoke like that just now. Zhang Wenwen still had some skill. The moment she played the piece on her violin, even a country bumpkin like me had to show a look of admiration. She and her partner performed Sarasate's Zagunerweisen, Song of the Gypsies. This is a piece with the violin as the main instrument, and piano as accompaniment, a very difficult piece. The moment it ended, the 5 judges gave her scores of 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, a total of 42 points. As for the pianist, the scores were 8, 8, 7, 8, 7, a total of 38 points. The two of them combined scored 80 points. Zhang Wenwen took a bow to finish. After turning around, her smile was stretched from ear to ear. Hehe, Qi Ying Shui. What can you do with just a solo performance to beat the score of the two of us? Backstage preparation room. Next up was Qi Ying Shui. Her heartbeat right now was even faster than when she was on the international stage. Her palms were tense and sweating hotly. The source of this tension was not because she knew Zhang Wenwen's group's score, but because she was afraid her first attempt at a solo wouldn't be good enough, and that she would disappoint me. At this moment, Jiang Wenwen happened to return to the backstage preparation room. Seeing Qi Ying Shui's nervous expression, she couldn't help but mock her. Good little sister, it'll be your turn soon. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. It's okay. After all, you're all alone. It's perfectly reasonable for you to lose. The audience will understand. But Qi Ying Shui, from beginning to end, didn't even raise her head to look at her. Her mind was completely focused on how to play well, so as not to disappoint me and my younger sisters. Jiang Wenwen was like a stray dog on the roadside, being ignored by her. Seeing her arrogant demeanor, Jiang Wenwen bit her lip in anger. What's with the cold act? In this industry, you can't get by on looks alone. After leaving behind an angry remark, she quickened her pace and left the preparation room. 3 minutes later, the speaker in the preparation room announced, "Please welcome contestant group Qi Ying Shui to the stage to perform." Qi Ying Shui took a deep breath. After composing herself, she stepped onto the stage. The stage lights shone on her, following her steps to the center of the stage. When Qi Xiaoyu saw her sister appear, she immediately sat up straight. Why is Big Sis all alone? This is a group competition. Where's her piano partner? When Qi Xiaoyu saw that only Qi Ying Shui had walked out, her brows furrowed tightly. The other audience members and judges were the same. What's going on? Why is the violin princess alone? Where's her piano partner? Could it be that she's chosen to do a solo? As soon as these words were spoken, the audience immediately gasped. Hiss. Choosing a solo in a group competition means that if you want to rank, one person has to earn the score of 2 people. What kind of difficult piece would it take to do that? On stage, Qi Ying Shui closed her eyes and took a deep breath. When she opened her eyes again, she began playing the violin. The melodious sound echoed throughout the hall. The judges, who had been skeptical upon hearing it, showed surprised expressions, repeatedly nodding in silent approval. Backstage, Jiang Wenwen heard Qi Ying Shui perfectly perform Paganini's La Campanella. Her expression changed like a rainbow. Jealousy immediately crept onto her fierce face. What's so great about that? Didn't I just start learning 2 years later than you? If I had started at the same time as you, the title of Violin Princess would have been mine long ago. Anger and jealousy took over Jiang Wenwen's mind. She looked at the live feed monitor, saw the spotlight shining on Qi Ying Shui's head. An idea suddenly flashed in her mind. The corner of her mouth slowly curled up. Heh heh heh. Your halo is too dazzling. There's no need to keep this kind of light. Jiang Wenwen turned and headed towards the lighting control room. Coincidentally, the lighting technician had gone to the restroom at this moment. The lighting technician at a concert is quite idle, mainly because the performers don't move around like singers. After getting on stage, they stay in one fixed position. Once the lights are adjusted, you can basically just sit and wait for it to end. There's a lot of free time during this period, so it's common to be lazy. A vicious glint flashed in Jiang Wenwen's eyes. She decisively entered the control room. On stage, the piece Qi Ying Shui was performing had just reached its climax, which was also the most difficult and technically challenging part. Her 2 younger sisters in the audience were sweating for her. As for me, not wanting to put too much pressure on her, Qi Ying Shui maintained a gentle smile because it was the most difficult part. Qi Ying Shui focused all her attention on the violin and didn't notice my smile at all. But right at this moment, something unexpected happened. The spotlight on Qi Ying Shui suddenly went out. The entire hall was plunged into darkness the moment the lights went out. Qi Ying Shui froze for about a second, causing her to play a wrong note. What's going on? Did the lighting technician fall asleep at the console? Qi Shiyu's heart felt like it was being squeezed. Worried for her big sister on stage, the sudden blackout of the lights caused a small commotion in the audience because Qi Ying Shui had just played a wrong note, plus the noise from the audience, and the fear of disappointing me appearing in her heart. She continuously played out of tune afterwards, completely losing her rhythm, and was finally forced to stop her performance. This scene was all seen by Jiang Wenwen, who was secretly controlling the lights. The corners of her mouth lifted into a villainous, triumphant smile. One mistake, and it's impossible to get a perfect score, unless your pianist shows up and performs a duet. Otherwise, the championship is not meant for you. Heh 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 heh. Jiang Wenwen restored the lights to normal, smiled, and left the control room. Qi Ying Shui held her violin, standing stunned in the middle of the stage. Her body trembled slightly. Her eyes didn't dare to look up towards me. I furrowed my brows. Oh no, this girl's mind is in chaos. Contestant Qi Ying Shui, you still have one more chance. Please continue. A judge, seeing Qi Ying Shui remain motionless, reminded her. Qi Ying Shui nodded blankly. Her trembling hands slowly raised the violin when she started playing again. The notes were barely in tune, but it was a huge step back from before. I was extremely worried. I really wanted to comfort Qi Ying Shui, but I didn't have the chance. Just then, the voice of that damn system suddenly rang in my head. Ding. Special mission activated. Sister Qi Ying Shui is facing a major crisis, requesting the host to immediately take over the pianist position to save Qi Ying Shui's honor. Mission completion reward. Qi Ying Shui's favorability will greatly increase. Plus 10 skill points. Mission failure penalty. Qi Ying Shui's mood will plummet, with a chance of becoming depressed. I pointed at myself in disbelief. A deafening question screamed in my mind. You want someone who knows nothing about music, a country bumpkin like me, to take the pianist position? As soon as I thought that, something occurred to me. My eyes widened. Wait a minute. In the professional skills column that requires skill points to unlock, I think there's a profession called pianist. With that thought, I quickly opened the profession panel. Among the pile of gray, locked professional skill icons, my gaze locked onto Piano Master in the bottom left corner. Unlocking this professional skill requires 20 skill points. Coincidentally, my account had 20 unallocated skill points, so that my little sister wouldn't have to end in regret. It's only 20 skill points. Let's do it. Without hesitation, I spent the 20 skill points and activated the Piano Master skill. In an instant, knowledge about the piano flooded my mind. Not only did I learn how to play, but my technique was also top tier. 10 seconds later, I slowly opened my eyes and let out a long breath. Right after, I adjusted my clothes and stood up. Where are you going? Chi-Shi-Yu looked at me doubtfully as I left my seat. Without turning back, I answered Chi-Shi-Yu. To save your sister, to be her pianist. A bunch of question marks appeared over the two sisters' heads. Chi-Shi-Yu couldn't help but look at Chi-Xiao-Yu and ask, Going to be Big Sis pianist? Since when did he learn to play the piano? Chi-Xiao-Yu shook her head with a dazed look. You're asking me? Who am I supposed to ask? For a moment, Chi-Xiao-Yu thought her second sister had found out about my past relationship with her. Fortunately, Chi-Shi-Yu was just asking casually. After asking, she turned her head back. Chi-Shi-Yu was extremely nervous, unconsciously biting the finger in her mouth. This guy isn't just pretending to know when he doesn't, is he? The scene of me failing spectacularly flashed through her mind. Her body couldn't help but shudder. Goosebumps rose all over her skin. I walked around to the back of the stage, then strode towards the piano. Because there were no lights, no one knew that I had slipped onto the stage. At this moment, Qi Shui was playing more and more out of tune, completely losing the original rhythm. Cold sweat poured down her forehead like rain. Feeling extremely tense inside, Zhang Wenwen backstage saw this scene on the live feed. Needless to say, she was laughing with glee. The judges all shook their heads and sighed in regret. The fans in the audience were all sighing. Some people couldn't even bear to listen anymore and started to leave. Sigh, it's ruined, it's ruined. The violin princess is still too arrogant, playing a piece that's impossible to succeed with. Still too childish, just when everyone had lost all hope in Qi Shui. My fingers were already on the piano keys. A clear melody attracted the attention of everyone present. Immediately after, the sound of the piano took over, the main melody of the piece, temporarily overpowering the sound of the violin. Qi Shui was suddenly stunned. In her memory, this technique and rhythm was not something that her piano partner could produce. The key point was that the piano was intentionally matching her. She didn't hesitate, and immediately began playing the violin seriously, catching up to the piano's rhythm, high-speed tremolo, soaring octave leaps. Whose technique is this? Who's playing, connecting the piece perfectly? The player must be a master at the very least. What is this? This is a youth music competition. Which master is bored enough to come and cause trouble here? The judges were in an uproar. The audience members who were about to leave were immediately stunned by the sudden sound of the piano. Compared to them, the ones who were even more shocked were Chi-Shi-Yu and Chi-Xiao-Yu. The two of them had their mouths wide open, big enough to easily fit a chicken egg. Just then, the lighting technician returned from the restroom. Hearing the sound of the piano, he thought to himself that something was wrong. He hurriedly ran to turn on a spotlight and aimed it at the piano area. As Qi Shui played the violin, she slowly turned around. When she saw that the person sitting at the piano was me, her pupils dilated in shock. Her heart rate immediately shot up to 180. The judges in their seats were a little surprised. The young man is so young. Did this master-level technique really come from him? Zhang Wenwen was backstage, watching Qi Shui's failure. When she saw me appear and seamlessly join the piece, she was completely stunned. Who is he? When did he get out there? How could Qi Shui know? A master pianist like that? Zhang Wenwen was panicking, afraid that she would once again become a stepping stone for Qi Shui and receive the title of eternal runner-up. But now she had no more tricks up her sleeve. She could only pray that the score of Qi Shui's group would not be higher than hers. So what if she has a master pianist helping her? She already made a mistake once, unless they both get full marks. Otherwise, don't even think about taking my championship. On stage, 5 minutes passed, the piece ended. The audience erupted in applause, shaking the entire theater. After the judges deliberated for a while, they gave Qi Shui the following scores. Violin 6, 6, 5, 6, 6. Piano 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. The two sides combined for a total of 79 votes. Currently in second place, first place was Zhang Wenwen's group with 80 points. Knowing this result, Zhang Wenwen immediately threw her head back and laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, I told you so. So what if you have a piano master helping you? The championship is still mine in the end. But before she could laugh for long, the person in charge of the theater led two police officers in, pointing at Jiang Wenwen and saying, "It was her." She barged into the control room on her own and turned off the lights, affecting the performance of the contestant on stage. Before coming in, the two police officers had already watched the surveillance camera footage and saw Jiang Wenwen's actions. They immediately stepped forward and said in a cold voice, "Ms. Jiang, you are suspected of intentionally disrupting the order of the performance and the crime of sabotaging production and business operations. Please come with us." "I didn't turn off the lights. Don't you come over here. Get lost." Seeing that Jiang Wenwen was not cooperating, the police officers mercilessly grabbed her arm and dragged her out. She was like a pig on a roasting rack, letting out screams like a pig being slaughtered. On the stage, after Qi Ying Shui and I took a final bow, we both went backstage behind the curtain. "Sorry, that happened so suddenly. It must have scared you. Let me treat you to a meal later." "Brother Bo, so, your piano skill is this high. It's amazing." Qi Ying Shui was like a little fangirl, staring at me with eyes full of admiration. She stared at me until I felt a little embarrassed. "Well, haha, I used to like playing the piano. Practiced for a few years. I haven't played in a long time now. My hands feel a bit rusty." But Qi Ying Shui basically didn't care whether I had been practicing or not. She only knew that I was very good at piano. She pursed her lips, her small, tense hands clasped behind her back. She mustered up the courage to ask, "Brother Bo, how do you think I played the violin?" I smiled and gently patted her head, praising her generously. "It was great. Making mistakes on stage is normal. The important thing is to enjoy the music. In the future, it's okay if you don't play well. You still have me behind you." Ding. Mission complete. Qi Ying Shui's favorability towards you has increased by 15%, plus 5 skill points. When Qi Ying Shui heard this, her face suddenly blushed red, and she unconsciously lowered her head shyly. "I will do my best from now on," she said in a voice softer than a mosquito's buzz. I patted Qi Ying Shui on the shoulder, encouraging her. "Don't put pressure on yourself. What we need to do now is go out and have a big meal." Qi Ying Shui nodded seriously, deeply engraving my words into her mind, just as the two were about to leave. Teacher Chen rushed out from the backstage lounge. Behind this curtain, Ying Shui. Good news has arrived. Jiang Wenwen, the first-place winner, was the culprit who intentionally turned off the lights, causing you to not perform well. She has now been taken away by the police officers. Her result has been nullified accordingly. The championship. Before Teacher Chen could finish, he was cut off by Qi Ying Shui with a wave of her hand. "You can keep the trophy, teacher. I have to go eat now. Goodbye." With that, she linked arms with me and strode out of the theater through the side door. I'm keeping it again?" Teacher Chen sighed helplessly. This student of his was good at everything, except she wasn't interested in honor. After lunch, we went outside. The sun was blazing high in the sky. The three of them were under the shade of a tree in a nearby park, casually sitting on the grass to rest for a while. This meal cost me 648 yuan. Half of that was eaten by Qi Xiao Yu. I really regret not going for a buffet. It probably wouldn't have been this expensive. Looking at the remaining balance of 1,145 yuan on my phone, I closed my eyes in agony. Turning off the screen, I opened my eyes and looked at Qi Ying Shui. I chuckled and started to speak. "Xiao Shui, you've participated in so many concerts and won so many awards. You must have a lot of money in your pocket, right?" "Money?" Qi Ying Shui put her index finger to her chin and thought for a moment. "The performance fees seem to be quite a lot, but it doesn't go into my account. It all goes into my mom's account. Mom says she's keeping it for me, but when I want it, she only gives me a little bit. Barely enough for daily living expenses. Are you short on money, Brother Bo? How about I be a bit firm and ask my mom for some money?" I quickly waved my hands to refuse. No, don't bother Auntie Qi." Seeing that the eldest sister, Qi Ying Shui, had no money, I glanced at Qi Shi Yu and Qi Xiao Yu, and immediately looked away without pausing for a second. When Qi Shi Yu saw this, an anger mark appeared on her forehead. She lightly punched my shoulder. "Hey, you're not even going to ask if I have money?" I rubbed my aching shoulder from her punch and asked "So, do you have money?" "Nope." What a resounding answer. I was left speechless. As for the remaining Qi Xiaoyu, there was no need to even ask. A loli who has just come of age. How much money could she possibly have? Sigh. Next week? Well, probably. Have to live frugally. I started thinking about how to make money. Now that I have the piano master professional skill, busking on the street would be a bit degrading, but I don't have any channels myself. Completely unable to participate in the performance. In official competitions. Suddenly, my eyes lit up. I remembered that Qi Ying Shui had a proper path. That's right, Xiao Shui. You've always toured in the format of a collaboration with a pianist, right? Qi Ying Shui nodded, then shook her head. It's not entirely like that, but recently, there have indeed been many collaboration competitions. Unfortunately, my pianist partner was injured and hospitalized. The upcoming competitions, I probably can't participate in them anymore. Hearing this, my eyes lit up. It would be such a pity to give up. These competitions are all for Xiao Shui. They're stepping stones paving the way for your future. If your pianist partner isn't here, what do you think of me? Qi Yingshui was astonished, her eyes wide. Brother Bo, a master-level pianist like you. Could you really join an amateur group like mine? You're using honorifics again. I've told you so many times, you don't need to be so formal. Just call me by my name. Besides, I'm just an unemployed guy now, let alone a piano master. Qi Yingshui shyly lowered her head. If Brother Bo doesn't mind, I'd always welcome Brother Bo to join. Then it's decided. The two high-fived with great chemistry. Suddenly, I smelled a scent. A strong smell of sour vinegar wafted over from the side. The moment I turned my head, I was met with Qi Shiyu's narrowed eyes. Her face was written all over with displeasure. I've noticed that you two clearly haven't spent much time together, but your actions and gestures are as if you've known each other for a long time. Did you two know each other before? Qi Yingshui and I both trembled. Our backs were soaked in sweat. I tried to explain. Haha, how could that be? Xiao Shui and I don't go to the same school. Besides, I usually like to stay home on my days off. How could we have met? Qi Yingshui nodded in agreement. That's right. It would have been great if I had known Brother Bo before. That way, I would have had a very strong partner to sweep through the music world together. Their explanation was very reasonable, but it didn't dispel Qi Shiyu's suspicions at all. As for why, she didn't know either. Perhaps it was a woman's intuition. At this moment, Qi Xiaoyu was lying on the grass scrolling through short videos. She suddenly came across an ad for a parfait shop. Coincidentally, this shop was right nearby. Brother, I want to eat a parfait. There happens to be a shop nearby, and if a couple goes in to buy one, they'll get a free couples edition parfait. Qi Xiaoyu's words immediately caught my attention. I seized the opportunity to change the subject. Eat a big one. I'll take you to eat right now. With that, I dusted myself off and stood up, wanting to quickly escape this place of conflict. To avoid further questioning from Qi Shiyu, the two older sisters were also very helpless. Qi Xiaoyu's appetite. Qi Shiyu temporarily set aside the matter of me and her eldest sister, possibly knowing each other. However, just as they stood up, Qi Xiaoyu's next sentence immediately dragged the two into a new battlefield. Brother, let's pretend to be a couple. We can go to the parfait shop and share a kiss. That way, we can get the freebie and eat a little more. Huh. I froze, completely stunned. I vaguely felt a chill run down my back. Two bone-chilling auras of combativeness enveloped my entire body. Feeling the cold fighting spirit behind me, I cleared my throat and said, Xiaoyu, you can't just pretend to be a couple, especially since we're brother and sister, although not by blood. We still can't pretend to be lovers. If you want another parfait, I can just buy one for you, as soon as I finish speaking. Qi Xiaoyu's smile fell, looking very wronged. Her eyes misted over, as if she had just been bullied, and could cry at any moment. Seeing this, Qi Shiyu, her eyes lit up. Great assist, little sister. I'll reward you later. Then she mustered her courage and stepped forward. She looked at me and suggested, if our youngest sister wants to eat the special edition, then let's you and I go in pretending to be a couple. So what if we're siblings? It's not like you'll lose anything from it. Just agree. I was startled by Qi Shiyu's actions. What's with this girl? She wasn't like this before. Why is she so forward now? Just as I was thinking about how to answer Qi Shiyu, Qi Yingshui directly linked her arm with mine. Brother Bo, it's more suitable for you and me to pretend to be a couple. Our heights are more compatible. Xiaoyu is too short. If she pretends, the staff might easily see through it and think she's playing the role of a little sister. Qi Shiyu was stunned. It was as if she'd been struck by lightning. She took 10,000 points of critical damage. Actually, she wasn't short at all. She's about 1.6 meters tall, but compared to her 1.7 meter tall eldest sister, it wasn't just her height. Even some other areas were truly at a disadvantage. Even so, Qi Shiyu wasn't willing to give up. Biting her lip, she still wanted to give it a try. Sister, don't force our brother. Let him choose, whether to choose you to pretend to be his lover, or to choose me. With that, Qi Shiyu shot me a look that could kill. Her eyes told me, if I didn't choose her, just you wait. Qi Yingshui gave a gentle smile. Her eyes crinkled as she asked me, Brother Bo, please make your choice. Choose me or little sister Xiaoyu. I froze. At this moment, I was facing a major crisis rarely seen in a lifetime. This wasn't a multiple choice question. This was clearly a life or death question. Choosing either side was a path to death. Well, I actually think. Before I could finish, Qi Yingshui cut me off. Brother Bo, you'd still choose me after all, right? Sister, you're really not suitable. Brother prefers petite girls. It's better if I pretend to be his lover. The two sisters said one thing after another. My arm was pulled this way, and then yanked that way. I'm numb. My brain is numb. I don't know how to deal with this situation. Qi Xiaoyu watched her two sisters pull back and forth, wasting a full 5 minutes. Her cheeks puffed out in anger. She endured it for another minute. After seeing her two sisters, still struggling, she finally couldn't take it anymore, and walked over on her short legs. That's enough. Do you still want to eat the couple's parfait or not? I'll be his girlfriend. It's decided. After speaking, Qi Xiaoyu pried her sister's hands off my arms. Her own hands went on my arm. Then she pulled me straight towards the parfait shop across from the park, leaving the two stunned girls behind, watching the tall and short figures walk away. There weren't many people in the parfait shop. Chi Xiaoyu jumped up and kissed me on the cheek, successfully getting the couple's edition parfait. In this round, Chi Xiaoyu won MVP, and I was the one who won by doing nothing. Qi Shiyu and Qi Ying Shui were completely defeated. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have captured the childish heart of Qi Xiaoyu. Her favorability towards you has increased by 5%. Skill points +2. Attention. Second sister Qi Shiyu and eldest sister Qi Ying Shui are in low spirits. Please pay attention to the change in your sister's moods, otherwise their favorability will decrease. Seeing the system's notification, I felt very helpless. Sigh. Next time I go out, it's best not to bring all the sisters along. Bringing one is enough to avoid a scene like today's from happening again. After leaving the parfait shop, Qi Ying Shui left a step ahead. She had something to attend to. She'll be back later. On the train, Qi Xiaoyu was exhausted. She leaned against the window and fell asleep. I was originally sitting in the middle, but Qi Xiaoyu squeezed me to the edge. It seemed intentional. She was sulking at someone. Ding. Detected that second sister Qi Xiaoyu is angry. Host, please go and console her quickly. The system's notification rang 10 times, but I still hadn't made a move. It's not that I wouldn't do it, it's that I didn't know how. I couldn't just directly say that next time. I'd pretend to be a couple with Qi Xiaoyu and let her kiss me, right? Not to mention this childish trick. Would Qi Xiaoyu even believe it? This way of consoling is really too cliché. After a moment of silence, I pursed my lips and decided to do something. I slowly opened my mouth. It's still a long way home. Don't you want to sleep a little? If you don't mind, you can rest your head on my shoulder. Qi Xiaoyu glanced up at me. Her cheeks were slightly puffed. Clearly, she was still a little angry. Thanks. I'm not sleepy, she replied coldly, but her palm was placed on her chest, feeling her heart beating fast. What's wrong with me? Why did I suddenly compete for affection with my eldest sister? Qi Xiaoyu fell into confusion, unable to distinguish how she saw me now. Was it the way one looks at a normal stepbrother, or was it the love that had blossomed before? I didn't know what was on Qi Xiaoyu's mind. I only knew she needed comfort right now, so I carefully shifted my butt and slowly leaned toward Qi Xiaoyu. The moment my shoulder touched hers, Qi Xiaoyu's body trembled as if electrocuted. Only then did she realize I had gotten close. She looked up at me, only to find that I was intentionally or unintentionally looking away. My left shoulder moved a little, as if to hint that Qi Xiaoyu could lean on it to rest. Faced with this angry sister atmosphere, I figured that physical comfort was 10 times more effective than words. Seeing me proactively lean in, Qi Xiaoyu's heart beat faster. This time, she could confirm how she saw me. It turns out, she still couldn't forget the feelings from when they were together before. After realizing the knot in her heart, she slowly closed her eyes. Her racing heart gradually returned to normal. After the train entered a tunnel, Qi Xiaoyu slowly, very naturally leaned her head on my shoulder. Ding. Congratulations, host, for untying the knot in your second sister's heart and successfully extinguishing the sulkiness in her heart. Qi Xiaoyu's favorability towards you has increased by 5%. Skill points +5. Not? What was that? Not? What did I just do? I scratched my head in confusion. I just lent my sister a shoulder. How did that untie the knot in her heart? After the trip to Longhu City, 5 days had passed. Although eldest sister Qi Ying Shui didn't have any tours recently, she was still quite busy. She was at the music academy for several days in a row. As for second sister Qi Xiaoyu, after school started and she settled in, various sports competitions came knocking. A pile of trivial matters needed her attention. Recently, she's been so busy she comes home very late. Therefore, the two with the most free time at home were Qi Xiaoyu and I. Second sister capricious. I have a social gathering tonight. Don't need to cook for me. It was past 5 p.m. I was lying on the sofa scrolling through short videos when a message from Qi Xiaoyu suddenly popped up. Social gathering. This girl uses quite formal words. I immediately typed and asked, socializing with whom? Where? Remember, absolutely no drinking. Even if others pressure you, you have to refuse for me. My reaction was normal. After all, Qi Xiaoyu is my sister now. I need to know her schedule to ensure her safety. Second sister capricious, classmates. At Huanghelu, in the western suburbs of Dehu Town. Are you being annoying? Just like my mom, nagging about this and that. I won't drink. Happy now? I was more at ease. Okay, don't stay out too late. I let out a sigh. I put down my phone and looked up to see Qi Xiaoyu lying on her side, on the opposite sofa, playing games. What a coincidence. Qi Xiaoyu's posture, lying on her side with her legs curled up, from my angle. I could just see her underwear peeking out. I advised her with great reluctance. I'm telling you, Xiaoyu, after you shower, can you please put on some pants first? You can take them off when you go to sleep. This isn't the first or second time. Qi Xiaoyu gave a perfunctory tug, covering her underwear. There are no strangers here anyway. I face-palmed helplessly. In this regard, I really didn't know how to advise this legendary streaker. Forget it. As long as you're happy. In the future, try to wear shorts after your shower. Oh right, Xiaoyu, your second sister has a party tonight and won't be home for dinner. Let's not cook either. Let's eat out. As soon as she heard eat out, Qi Xiaoyu immediately turned off her game. Yes, yes. I want to eat hot pot. Then what are you waiting for? Go put on your pants and shoes. Wait for me. Chi Xiaoyu lifted her short legs and ran quickly to her room to change. A few days ago, Qi Yingshui and I participated in a small competition and successfully won first prize. We earned about 10,000 yuan. I was thinking of treating myself to a nice meal. It just so happened that only Qi Xiaoyu was home today. No need to reenact that scene of fighting for affection. Very quickly, Qi Xiaoyu changed into a JK sailor uniform, a black skirt and a white shirt. She scurried out of her room. Let's go, brother. Let's go eat hot pot. Be careful. No need to rush. You won't miss a single bite whether you run fast or slow. Since the hot pot place was just on the street across the river, I chose not to drive, but to walk there instead. Halfway there, a flash of lightning suddenly appeared in the gloomy sky. A bolt of lightning streaked across the sky, followed by a deafening clap of thunder. Rumble, rumble, it's about to rain. I took out my phone to check the weather forecast. It showed light rain in 2 hours. That's enough time. With this kid's speed, she'd finish a hot pot meal in about 40 minutes. Seeing that it wouldn't rain for another 2 hours, I was too lazy to go back home for an umbrella, and continued walking towards the hot pot place. I hadn't been in the restaurant for 10 minutes, when I suspected I had been tricked by the weather forecast. It said it would rain in 2 hours, but as it turned out, it was now pouring cats and dogs. I looked at the downpour outside the window, and muttered to myself, this kind of rain, it'll probably stop soon. Qi Xiaoyu was just focused on eating with her head down, completely oblivious to the heavy rain outside. An hour later, she was full. Now she was standing with me at the entrance of the hot pot place, with a dazed expression, looking at the pouring rain outside. Qi Xiaoyu's legs were getting a bit numb from standing, so she suggested, brother, let's run back. It's not far from home anyway. At worst, we'll just have to shower again. The siblings' home was indeed not far from here, but there were no eaves along the way to shelter from the rain. If we ran back in this downpour, we'd definitely be soaked to the bone. I glanced at the online weather forecast, the one that had tricked me. It showed that we'd have to wait at least 3 hours for it to turn into light rain, and it would stop raining in 5 hours. I put away my phone and sighed helplessly. Sigh. Waiting like this isn't a solution. Let's run. After the two of us protected our phones, we stepped out of the restaurant together and ran. The cold raindrops hitting my face stung a little. Qi Xiaoyu was getting so drenched by the rain she couldn't open her eyes, seeing her running so slowly. I pulled her hand to force her to speed up. Give me your hand? Whoa. After taking my hand, Qi Xiaoyu felt like she was flying. The two of them ran in the rain just like that, and finally reached the front door. Qi Xiaoyu bent over, her hands on her knees, panting heavily. Pant, pant. I think something's about to happen to me. Her clothes were soaked. The white shirt clung tightly to her barely visible tube top. I took out the key and opened the main door. The first thing I did after entering was go to the bathroom to check the water heater. Because Qi Xiao, you had just showered at dusk. Now we had to wait another 15 minutes for the next batch of hot water to heat up. Everything else in this small villa was very good. Only this water heater was a bit outdated. This type of water heater has to heat up to a certain level before you can open the valve, otherwise only cold water will come out. I went to the living room and told Qi Xiaoyu, who was taking off her small leather shoes at the entrance, pouring out a puddle of rainwater. The hot water still needs some time to heat up. Go to the bathroom and dry yourself off first. Change into some clean clothes. Qi Xiaoyu tugged at her sticky shirt, with a disgusted look on her face. So uncomfortable. Brother, help me get undressed and dry off. Huh? I froze on the spot. Qi Xiaoyu looked up at me with teary eyes. Her breathing was still uneven after the strenuous exercise. Her chest was heaving. Because she was soaked, her clothes stuck tightly to her skin. Coupled with the heaving of her chest, I could see she was actually a bit developed, in a normal state. Perhaps because her clothes were too loose. From any angle, she looked like a small washboard. Hey, what kind of brother dries off his little sister? If you were little, it would be fine. But now, I glanced at the pitiful Qi Xiaoyu. My heart pounded. Ding. Congratulations, host, for activating a super rare hidden side. Agree to third sister Qi Xiaoyu's request. Change her clothes and dry her off. Completion will grant plus 999 skill points. Qi Xiaoyu's favorability skyrocketed. I ignored the system's instigation. I quickly averted my gaze to the floor. All right, hurry up and go to the bathroom to dry yourself off. It'll be troublesome if you catch a cold later. Okay then. Qi Xiao. You hung her head in disappointment. She lifted her small feet in their soaking wet socks. Her white-socked feet stepped onto the porch, but the soaking wet socks stepped onto the slippery floor. She suddenly slipped. Qi Xiaoyu's body tumbled forward. Be careful. I acted with quick reflexes. I rushed forward to catch the falling Qi Xiaoyu. I managed to catch her, but I slipped too. The result was a slide tackle. I pushed Qi Xiaoyu sliding back onto the porch. We rolled once to reduce the impact. Neither of us was seriously injured. Qi Xiaoyu was pinned underneath me. She was being crushed to the point where it was a little hard to breathe. She unconsciously opened her mouth to gasp for air. Coincidentally, the unlocked door was opened by someone who had just returned from dinner. My second younger sister opened it. The rain is so heavy. Good thing I brought an ombre before she could even finish the word umbrella. Chi Shiyu was terrified by the sight before her. Her pupils trembled in disbelief. Watching me pin her little sister down, my expression changed abruptly. I realized she was getting the wrong idea. I quickly got up. No, Shiyu, Xiaoyu, let me explain. It's not what you think. Just now I was actually. Chi Shiyu took a deep breath. She tried to suppress the urge to hit someone and the chaotic emotions in her heart. She glared at me fiercely, interrupting my explanation. Some brother you are. You're the absolute worst. After saying that, she pulled Chi Xiaoyu's hand and went into the bathroom. Slam. My heart took 10,000 points of critical damage. I froze on the spot. It's over. The misunderstanding has gotten bigger. Ding. Congratulations, host, for achieving the small accomplishment. Hated by younger sister. You have received a consolation prize. Skill points. +1. The system, unafraid of stirring up trouble, suddenly chimed in. I hung my head in disappointment and gave a warning. Before I slap you, you'd better shut your mouth. In the bathroom, Chi Shiyu was helping Chi Xiaoyu dry off while finding out what had just happened. So that's what happened. I wasn't careful and fell. He came to catch me. The result was a slide tackle that sent me all the way to the porch. He rolled twice and then landed on top of me. Chi Xiaoyu summarized it simply. She spread her hands helplessly and shrugged, after learning the whole story. The heavy stone in Chi Shiyu's heart was finally lifted. The scene she saw when she opened the door just now, she almost thought I was having a great battle on the porch with our youngest sister. Chi Shiyu's stern eyes stared into her sister's eyes. Look how our oldest sister has spoiled you. You even need someone else to help you change clothes and dry yourself. From now on, handle these things yourself. Got it? Our oldest sister, Chi Anshui, loves taking care of others, besides me. The person she takes care of the most is Chi Xiaoyu. Waking up, changing clothes, washing her face, bathing, drying off, getting dressed, it's all arranged as a full-service package. This has given Chi Xiaoyu an extremely lazy personality. Chi Xiaoyu pouted and replied unhappily in a small voice. Oh, I get it. Chi Xiaoyu glanced at the bathtub full of warmth and said to her sister, the bathtub is full. Go take a bath now, catch a cold. Chi Xiaoyu stood up and trotted towards the bathtub, then submerged herself completely. Chi Xiaoyu stood up from the stool and went out to find her a set of clothes. When she got to the living room, she happened to see me sitting on the porch. The scene turned black and white. I was hanging my head low. Right now, I looked like a salted fish that had lost all its ideals, looking at my pitiful back. Chi Shiyu's heart felt as if an invisible large hand had tugged at it. Remembering the somewhat excessive words she had said earlier, she felt a little embarrassed. She took a deep breath, composed herself and walked over. Ahem. I just heard the story from our little sister. I'm sorry. I wrongly blamed you. Chi Shiyu bowed 90 degrees in apology. I take back what I said earlier. You are a responsible older brother. You did nothing wrong at all. Got it, I replied curtly. The scene around me was still in black and white tone. This also meant that Chi Shiyu's apology did nothing to soothe the grievance in my heart. Seeing that I was still like this, Chi Shiyu immediately panicked. Brother, he's mad at me. Oh no, I don't know how to console people when faced with a difficult decision. You can ask Auntie Google. Chi Shiyu quickly took out her phone, opened her browser, and typed into the search bar. Older brother is angry with younger sister. How should the younger sister console him? After pressing the search button, a series of results appeared. She immediately noticed a piece of information posted by a reputable website. She clicked to read it. Spread your arms, then hug your older brother tightly. Hugging from behind is even more effective. I've personally tried it and it works. After hugging, combine it with other consolation methods. Your words must be a sincere apology. If the mistake is too big, when necessary, add words of self-blame. Looking at the words on the phone screen, Chi Shiyu's breathing started to quicken. Her heart rate even reached 180. I have to hug him? Will this really work? She asked herself. In reality, she already had the answer in her heart, looking at the only way to console him that she could do. Chi Shiyu thought for a long time. Finally, she slowly exhaled and forced herself to calmly walk around behind me. Gathering all her courage, she opened her arms. Her hands went under my arms and wrapped tightly around my solid chest. Then she pressed her body against my back, resting her head on my shoulder. This sudden event scared away my black and white world. Second sister, I'm sorry, brother. It's my fault. I shouldn't have only seen the scene before me and unreasonably blamed you. I know you're angry at me, but anger will affect your looks and lifespan. If you don't mind, please consider me a punching bag to vent your anger on. Please punish me severely. After speaking, Chi Shiyu squeezed her eyes shut. Her heart was beating fast and loud. Her cheeks were as red as a burnt iron, both red and hot. Hearing my second sister's apology, I was stunned for a long time before slowly coming to my senses. Chi Shiyu's strong heartbeat transmitted to my back. The corner of my mouth twitched slightly. I smiled helplessly. Soon after, the smile gradually turned into a happy one. I slowly raised my left hand, tucked my middle finger under my thumb, aimed at Chi Shiyu's forehead, and decisively released my thumb. My middle finger flicked hard against the center of her forehead. Ouch! Chishiyu unconsciously pulled back the arms that were hugging me and held her slightly reddened forehead. Looking at her pained expression, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. You're still as afraid of pain as you used to be, seeing me laugh at her. Chishiyu was very unhappy. She puffed up her cheeks, but while being unhappy, she felt relieved inside, much more at ease. At least she had succeeded in getting me out of the black and white state. I wasn't angry at her anymore. Why don't you flick your own forehead? See if it hurts. I shrugged and stood up to walk towards the kitchen to make a cup of hot tea to warm up. Dream on. Chishiyu watched my back as I walked into the kitchen. She was so angry she stomped her foot. How outrageous. Don't expect me to console you ever again? Some brother you are. The worst. Before her words had even finished, Chishiu's sweet voice came from the bathroom. Where are my clothes? Chishiu froze. Only then did she remember that she hadn't helped her sister get her change of clothes. Wait a minute, I'll go find them right now. Don't you dare step out of the bathroom on your own, she quickly warned her, and hurried upstairs to find clothes. 5 minutes later, Chishiu came downstairs holding a onesie pajama, a green dinosaur-shaped one. Sorry, little sister, you only have one set of pajamas. If I wash it now, just wear your childhood pajamas for now. Anyway, your height now isn't that different from when you were a kid. It should still fit, for some reason. Chishiu's heart in the bathroom suddenly felt like it had been stabbed by a knife. Looking at herself in the mirror, she was only a little over 1.4 meters tall. She sighed helplessly. Sigh. It would be nice if I were a little taller. That way I could eat a little more at buffets. She opened the bathroom door, took the dinosaur pajamas from her second sister and put them on. I must admit it was a pretty good fit. The dinosaur pajamas from 6th grade. She could still wear them now as a college freshman. It could also be considered a kind of thriftiness. Chishiu touched the water in the bathtub and turned her head to shout out the door. The water in the bathtub is still hot. Brother, you should go soak in it. Don't stay out too long or you'll catch a cold. I, in the kitchen, had just taken a sip of tea, hot tea, and quickly replied, Okay, we'll be in right after I finish this cup of tea. I quickly finished the black tea in my hand. A stream of warmth spread through my lower abdomen before getting my clothes ready to go to the bathroom. Chishiu leaned against the bathroom door frame, looking at me with a wary expression. I scratched my head in confusion. What's wrong? Are you still mad because I flicked your forehead? She crossed her arms in front of her chest and snorted coldly. Just take a proper bath. You're not allowed to secretly drink our little sister's bathwater. Huh. I was stunned. I'm bewildered. Wait a minute. Do I look like a sneaky pa? Do I look like the kind of brother who would do that? Who knows? Chishiu unconfidently turned her head away, avoiding my direct gaze. She pouted and said, Anyway, I've already measured the water level. You're finished if it's missing by even a millimeter. After saying that, she quickly left the scene as if she were fleeing. Watching her struggling, fleeing back, I shrugged very helplessly. What on earth is going on in this girl's head? I am a righteous gentleman. How could I stoop so low as to drink my little sister's bathwater? Then I entered the bathroom. The faint scent of jasmine filled the bathroom. This is the body wash that Chishiu likes to use the most. The place with the strongest scent was the bathtub. I saw a few dissolving bubbles on the water's surface. I put my hands on my hips in annoyance. Ha, this kid. She just soaks right in the tub after lathering up, doesn't she? Well, this is great. I couldn't drink it even if I wanted to. If I drank it, I'd probably start foaming at the mouth. No way. I'll have to teach her properly in the future. Some common sense. Otherwise, she'll be spoiled into someone. Useless. When I came out of the bathroom, it was already past 9 p.m. It was still raining heavily outside, in the quiet space. A few claps of thunder rumbled without warning. Moreover, it was the kind of thunder that strikes nearby. It scared Chishiu into cowering next to her second sister. Chishiu was also a little scared, but as an older sister, she tried to act calm and didn't show it in front of her younger sister. It's going to rain for the next 5 days. Luckily, the house has a clothes dryer. Auntie Chi is so thoughtful. I used one hand to dry my soaking wet hair with a towel, while checking the weather forecast on my phone with the other. I went to the living room and plugged in the hairdryer to dry my hair. After I appeared, the fear of thunder in the two sisters' hearts immediately lessened quite a bit. After I dried my hair, I glanced at the clock and said to the two sisters, It's not early anymore. You have school tomorrow. Go to bed early. Don't stay up late playing on your phones. It's bad for your health. After saying that, I was about to go upstairs. Seeing this, the two sisters immediately stood up straight, afraid of being left behind to face the thunder. I'm going to bed right now. Me too. The two of them trotted upstairs, leaving me behind to turn off the lights last. I didn't mind. After turning off the lights, the entire villa was plunged into darkness. After each of us went to our own rooms, the house was completely silent, only the extremely sleep-inducing sound of rain outside, along with the thunder that broke the atmosphere. Rumble, rumble, rumble. I turned off my room light and lay in bed scrolling through short videos. There are people who say one thing and do another. Just a second ago, I was advising my younger sisters not to stay up late on their phones, but as it turns out, I was the one playing first, and I even chose the most eye-straining way to do it. On the other side, the younger sisters in the adjacent and opposite rooms were frightened by the thunder. outside the window, cowering and trembling under their blankets. Just then, another bolt of lightning struck near the house, followed by a sky-shattering clap of thunder that shook people to their core. This clap of thunder completely crushed Qi Xiaoyu's weak spirit. Wow, I can't take it anymore. I have to go find my brother. She didn't even bother to put on shoes. Hugging a smiley-faced pillow, she trotted out of her room and burst into my bedroom without hesitation. Slam! The door was slammed open with force by her, startling me. What's wrong? What happened? Not understanding what was going on, I sat up and looked towards the small figure standing at the door. Xiaoyu, is that you? I quickly turned on the table lamp. A dim yellow light covered half the bedroom. Not too bright. At least I could clearly see who had come. Qi Xiaoyu didn't answer. She quietly entered the room and kicked the door shut with her foot. Then she timidly took small steps to my bed. With a carp's leap over the dragon gate, she jumped onto the bed and burrowed under the covers like a worm. Then she adjusted her body and poked her head out from under the blanket, resting her head on my long pillow. Xiaoyu, this is... Qi Xiaoyu's mouth was hidden under the pillow, emitting a faint sound like a mosquito's buzz. I want to sleep with brother tonight. Hearing that Qi Xiaoyu wanted to sleep in the same bed with me, my brain froze. I was just about to open my mouth to refuse, but I ended up meeting those pitiful, aggrieved eyes. My heart immediately softened. The words on the tip of my tongue were swallowed back down. Xiaoyu, you. Could it be that you're scared of thunder? You can't sleep alone, so you came here to sleep with me? Qi Xiaoyu was quite honest. She nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. The thunder is too scary. I'm afraid of getting struck by lightning, so I'm hiding in brother's blanket. That way, even if lightning strikes, it will hit big-headed brother first. Hearing this, my expression froze. Luckily, Qi Xiaoyu is my little sister. If it were a little brother instead, he would have been kicked 2 miles away long ago. Sigh. Be that as it may. But if you're afraid of thunder, shouldn't you go to your second sister's room? Why did you have to run to my place? Regarding this, Qi Xiaoyu's answer was, second sister is a terrible sleeper. She always kicks me off the bed in the middle of the night, or treats me like a doll and hugs me tightly. Last time, I almost suffocated to death. I was speechless. I was thinking whether I should set up a small bed, next to my big bed, for Qi Xiaoyu to sleep on. Another clap of thunder struck near the villa. Qi Xiaoyu was like a turtle. She immediately retracted her head into the blanket. The next second, the thunder made the whole house shake, swaying in its wake. After the thunder, Qi Xiaoyu carefully poked her head out. I looked at her pitiful appearance and sighed helplessly. Oh well, if we're sleeping together, then so be it. It's just for one night. There shouldn't be any problem. Thank you, brother. Qi Xiaoyu giggled, revealing her white teeth. She wiggled her body closer to me. I took a deep breath. All my muscles tensed up. I immediately placed my hands in a safe position, afraid that I might accidentally touch something and cause an unnecessary misunderstanding. Go to sleep. You have to go to school tomorrow morning. I turned off the table lamp and lay back down, adjusting the blanket to cover both of us. My head had just hit the pillow. I hadn't even warmed up yet. The room door was opened again. Slam. The two of us sat up, startled at the same time. We both looked towards the door. I turned the table lamp back on. Under the dim yellow light, the serious, old-fashioned face of Qi Xiaoyu came into view. And after seeing Qi Xiaoyu on my bed, Qi Xiaoyu wasn't too surprised. She only glanced at her before shifting her gaze to the empty spot to my left. Then she walked into the bedroom, hugging her pillow. Inheriting Qi Xiaoyu's traditional superpower, she kicked the door shut with her heel. Then she silently walked to the bed, put down her pillow, and lay down. She skillfully lifted the blanket and slipped in, lying on her side, her back to me, who was full of question marks. There's a cockroach in my room. It was flying all over the place. I don't know where it went. I'll just stay at your place for tonight. I frowned. Previously, when I was walking on the street with Qi Xiaoyu, a rat the size of a forearm ran past her feet. She didn't even let out a scream. She even lifted her foot, and without a second thought, stomped the mouse flat, with just that kind of aura, saying she's afraid of cockroaches. Only a ghost would believe that. Looking at Qi Xiaoyu's back, I naturally knew very well in my heart. She was just like Qi Xiaoyu. Most likely couldn't sleep because she was afraid of the thunder, so she came over and crawled into my blanket. My bed is just a double bed. It's really a bit crowded for 3 people to sleep. I turned off the table lamp and lay down again. The feeling of being cramped immediately rushed over me. Qi Xiaoyu didn't bring a pillow to find a comfortable position. She continued to press close to me. Our heads were almost stuck together. It was one thing for Qi Xiaoyu to be like that, but I didn't know what Qi Xiaoyu was up to. She clearly had a pillow, but she still kept moving towards me. I pitifully became the filling in their sandwich. Ting, congratulations, host, for unlocking the hidden achievement, sharing a bed with different dreams. You definitely won't be able to sleep the first time you sleep with your sisters. You'll get used to it. Favorability of the 2 sisters, plus 5%. Skill points, plus 2. I consoled myself internally. It's just for one night. Just endure it a little and it'll be over. I didn't sleep well at all that night. I was in a state of half asleep, half awake the whole night. Qi Xiaoyu always said that her second sister, Qi Xiaoyu, was a bad sleeper. But actually, she was the worst one. While sleeping soundly, never mind sleepwalking and skillfully taking off her dinosaur pajamas, she even turned completely around and kicked her little foot straight into my face, waking me up once. The second time, she climbed on top of me, giving me the experience of sleep paralysis. Chi Shiyu on the other side wasn't well behaved either. In the middle of the night, she treated me like a body pillow and hugged me for a full 2 hours. Finally, my arm went numb and I couldn't stand it anymore. So I risked waking her up and forcefully pulled my arm back. Luckily, my worries were unnecessary. Chi Shiyu was sleeping like a log. This little bit of movement wasn't enough to wake her. Early the next morning, birds were chirping outside the window. The overnight rain had stopped. The damp ground outside was almost dry. At 7 o'clock, the alarm clocks of the 3 phones went off on time. The noisy ringing immediately woke up the 2 younger sisters. "Get up, we have to be at school before 8. I called out sluggishly, after instinctively turning off their alarms. The 2 sisters lay back down to sleep. I took a deep breath. My stomach was filled with resentment, with nowhere to vent it. "Not getting up, are you? Let me remind you 2 first. There's no gentle wake-up service today." The 2 sisters probably heard me, but they still didn't move and continued to sleep. Sigh. "I already gave you 2 since you both want to sleep in, then don't blame me." After speaking, I didn't hesitate to flip the blanket off. First, I carried Chi Xiaoyu off the bed, forcing her to boot up. She stood unsteadily on the ground. Right after that was Chi Xiu. I used the same method to carry her down and make her stand, to force her brain to boot up. "Don't bother me." Under the influence of morning crankiness, she started showing signs of struggling. "I want to destroy the world." I let go. Seeing that she could stand on her own, I turned to Chi Xiaoyu. Chi Xiaoyu was dozing off while standing. I didn't indulge her. I grabbed her fair shoulders with both hands and started shaking her like a milk tea. "Wake up, wake up, wake up." Is it an earthquake?" Chi Xiaoyu groggily opened her eyes, one eye bigger than the other. She didn't look very bright. Chi Shiyu on the other side was also less cranky by now. Her consciousness slowly began to clear up. I must say, the forced boot-up method is quite effective. It's just that it can't be used often, unless you don't want your sister's favorability points. 7:30, in the wonton shop across from the school. Chi Shiyu was eating wontons with her head down, but her eyes were always staring at me sitting across from her. "What's wrong? Do I still have some shaving foam on my face?" I touched my face doubtfully. There was nothing. Chi Shiyu swallowed the wonton in her mouth and lowered her voice to warn me. "Last night, you and I. The matter of us sleeping together can't be told to anyone else. Not Mom and not Uncle Chen. Especially not Big Sister. She definitely can't know. I thought it was some big deal. Don't worry. The fact that you crawled into my blanket because you were afraid of cockroaches. I won't tell anyone." After instructing one person, Chi Shiyu turned to lock her gaze. On to Chi Xiaoyu next to her. "You too. You're not allowed to tell anyone. Got it?" "Yes." Chi Xiaoyu immediately acted sensibly, nodding vigorously while chewing on a wonton. After breakfast, the 3 of us entered the school gate together and then went our separate ways for our 8 a.m. classes. Of course, in my major, we don't need to attend 8 a.m. classes by the 4th year. The task now is to complete the graduation thesis. In other words, I'm free with nothing to do right now. Sigh. I'll go to the library and continue with this crappy thesis. I put my hands in my pockets and walked towards the library. If I take the direct route, I just need to cross a small park. At this hour, there was almost no one in the park. In the pleasant space, there were only a few birds chirping. As I passed a turn, I spotted a familiar back. Gu Wei, wearing cool shorts, was struggling to carry a stack of books. Looking at the direction she was heading, there was no doubt it was the library, perhaps because the stack of books was too high and blocked her view. Gu Wei carelessly tripped over a small stone. Ah! She tumbled onto the grass, falling flat on her face. The books she was carrying scattered everywhere. Seeing this, I rushed over to help Gu Wei up. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine. Thank you." "Oh, it's you." As Gu Wei looked up, she saw it was me. A flash of embarrassment crossed her face, and at the same time, she took a step back and stepped on that same small stone again. She carelessly lost her balance and fell backward. "Be careful." Without thinking, I lunged forward in one step and grabbed her with one hand. As a result, I didn't realize I used too much force, causing Gu Wei, who was falling backward, to stumble forward instead. Oh no. Seeing Gu Wei's weapons coming at me, I was just about to reach out to help her up when I suddenly remembered the dribbling incident at the library. I was so scared that I quickly pulled my hand back and watched helplessly as Gu Wei crashed into me. Oof! I was controlled by the weapons for the second time, feeling the weight of over 100 pounds on me. I didn't dare move at all. How ironic. Having an urgent matter to attend to at her department. Chi Shiyu happened to be passing by on the small path opposite. She heard a sudden sound from the other side, a thud of someone falling. Curiously, she glanced over, only to see Gu Wei pinning me underneath her. In that moment, her eyes looked like they were about to pop out. To continue observing, she quickly hid in a bush. Ting. Host. Please. Never mind. It's nothing. The system had just said 2 words when it suddenly went silent. System. What were you trying to say? Don't you dare give me some weird achievement? Do you think I want to be attacked by these weapons? I rolled my eyes in annoyance. Nothing more. Host, you're on your own tonight. After saying that, the system fell silent and went offline. Chi-Yu, hiding in the bushes, watched this scene. So angry, she gritted her teeth. Well done, Chenbo. You keep saying you don't know the campus belle. The first time she fell on you could be an accident, but don't tell me this second time is also an accident. Chi-Yu clenched her fists. The young leaf in her hand was gradually compressed into a small bundle. Sorry. Gu-wei looked at me, pinned beneath her, and scrambled to get up. It's okay. How are you? Are you hurt? I got up and dusted off my clothes. Gu-wei shook her head, her face flushed, looking down, and made a sound as faint as a mosquito. No, I'm not. Thank you. It's good that you're okay. I bent down to help her pick up. The book scattered around. I can do it myself. Gu-wei frantically squatted down, and as a result, carelessly bumped her head into mine. A crisp thud sound. It didn't hurt me much. But Gu-wei wasn't as physically fit as I am. She clutched her forehead and yelped, "Are you okay?" I was a bit speechless for a moment. A beautiful campus belle. How can she be so clumsy? Sorry. Gu-wei kept bowing her head and apologizing to me. All right. Saying it once is enough. You don't need to kowtow. It's not New Year's today. I quickly comforted her, and then helped her pick up the books on the ground. You're going to the library, right? I was heading there too. Let me carry some for you, in case you drop them again later. I split the nearly half-meter-high stack of books in half. Thank you. Before taking the books back, Gu-wei bowed 90 degrees to thank me, after the two of them had walked away. Chi-Yu emerged from the bushes on the opposite path. With a few green leaves stuck on her head, she looked at the backs of the two people walking side by side, grinding her teeth. Well done, Chenbo. I need to see what kind of relationship you really have with the campus belle. Chi-Yu immediately took out her phone and delegated her task to the vice president, then relentlessly and secretly followed them. Oh right, classmate, I still don't know your name. On the way to the library, Gu-wei asked shyly with her head lowered. My name is Chenbo, a fourth-year student from the archaeology department. And you? I gave a simple introduction of myself. Actually, I already knew about Gu-wei from Chi-Yu, but since it was only our second time meeting, I still had to pretend a little. Gu-wei silently memorized my name in her heart, and then introduced herself. Gu-wei, a second-year student from the mathematics department, and also the student union president. Student union president, huh? You must be really busy then. It's all right. I haven't had much to do lately. After a few sentences of conversation, I felt it was enough, and chose to be silent. We're just strangers who met by chance. I felt there was no need to get too close, but Gu-wei didn't think so. After more than 3 seconds of silence, Gu-wei slowly opened her mouth. Senior Chen, are you free this afternoon? I'd like to treat you to a meal. I thought she wanted to repay me for my help. So I agreed without much thought. Sure. Then I won't be polite. Night gradually fell, throughout the day. I always had the feeling that someone was secretly watching me. From the moment I entered the library with Gu-wei in the morning, whether it was eating in the cafeteria or going to the restroom, this feeling of being watched never subsided. It wasn't until classes ended in the evening, when I met the Chi sisters again, that this strange, suffocating feeling of being spied on quietly disappeared. Studying all day is so tiring. I want to go to sleep. Chi Xiaoyu's soul seemed to fly out of her mouth. Her body was like a leaf about to fall, as if a slightly stronger gust of wind could blow her away. I teased with a laugh. You'll get used to it. If you don't study hard now, you'll just have to go home and inherit the family fortune later. Let's go home. We're having beef curry for dinner tonight. Chi Xiaoyu and I walked out of the school gate together, when I suddenly felt a bone-chilling cold air behind me. I couldn't help but shiver. When I turned around, I met Chi Xiyu's ice-cold gaze. That gaze was so sharp it could have bored a hole in me. I asked carefully, "What's wrong? Who angered our young lady?" Chi Xiyu didn't answer directly, but instead told a seemingly unrelated short story. Tell me, after an innocent young girl falls for a boy and sees that person with another girl, studying and eating together, does that boy deserve to die? I didn't realize at all that the example Chi Xiyu gave was about me. I even scratched my head and thought for a moment. You can't decide this based on just one sentence. If that girl is the boy's younger or older sister, or another normal, friendly relationship, you can't just judge things by their appearance. You have to dig deeper to understand the reason, and then decide. But let me add one more thing here. If that girl is the boy's lover, I think that boy should be thrown into a pig cage. I don't know why. The moment I said this, I couldn't help but shiver after getting the answer she wanted. The corners of Chi Shiyu's mouth curved into a meaningful smile. I squinted at Chi Shiyu. But then again, why are you asking this? Could it be that you've met the man of your dreams? She snorted coldly, raised her head arrogantly, and strode ahead of the two of us. It's none of your business. It was late at night, past 10 o'clock. I was lying on my side in bed, scrolling through my phone. I usually browse until after 11 before sleeping. It's hard to fall asleep if I go to bed too early. However, before the blanket even had a chance to warm up, the bedroom door was forcefully pushed open by a large hand. The sudden noise made me, who was browsing, a horror movie, jump in fright. I quickly turned around and saw a slender figure standing at the door. From her height, it wasn't hard to recognize that the person was Qi Yu. Xiao Yu, I called out tentatively before I could turn on the table lamp. Qi Yu had already entered the bedroom and conveniently kicked the door shut, climbed onto my bed, and squeezed in with me under one blanket and on one pillow. That cockroach still hasn't left, so it'll stay at your place for one night, she explained gloomily with her back to me, but her voice was even more forceful then. When there was thunder last night, I was full of doubt. Last night because she was afraid of the thunder. It was one thing to use the excuse of a cockroach to get into my blanket. Tonight the sky is clear, and she still comes to get into my blanket for the same reason. Could it be that my bed is too soft or too fragrant? I pondered what the reason could be. That attracted Qi Yu here again. Suddenly my eyes widened as I thought of a very likely reason. Could it be that because she still has feelings from when we were a couple, she's fallen for me? How about I go help you kill the cockroach? I can't deny that I no longer have the same kind of love for Qi Yu as when we were dating. Although we are siblings, we're just step-siblings. Even if we really fell in love and developed a deeper relationship, the law would recognize it. But the other sisters, and Dad and Aunt Chi, whether they would recognize it, is another matter. Especially the two younger sisters who were in a romantic relationship with me. Besides, if we really wanted to develop something, shouldn't we take it one step at a time? Isn't sleeping in the same bed right away a bit too fast? No need. That cockroach is hiding. It would take a lot of time to find it now. We still have school tomorrow. Let's sleep early. Qi Yu saw that I was about to get out of bed to go kill the non-existent cockroach, and quickly sat up and grabbed my hand, pulling me back onto the bed. As a result, she used too much force and pulled an unprepared me down on top of her. Thump. My entire body fell onto the young woman. Two surprised gasps echoed in the darkness, followed immediately by a strange silence. Two hearts pounded, playing an ambiguous melody in the dark night, even though it was pitch black around us. I could still imagine that right now. Qi Yu's tilted face was blushing and hot. With our close contact, I discovered that Qi Yu's heart rate was skyrocketing. I quickly got off her. Sorry, I didn't mean to. It's okay. The girl's reply was as soft as a mosquito's buzz, both innocent and as alluring as a ripe peach. A short silence. The surroundings fell quiet. In the darkness, only the strong heartbeats of two people could be heard, echoing in the small bedroom. The two of them just lay silently on the bed, sharing a pillow. The distance between their two heads was only 7 centimeters. This silence lasted for 2 minutes. I couldn't help but break the silence. Since your room has a cockroach, why don't you go sleep in Xiao Yu's room? Qi Yu's answer was, little sister is a terrible sleeper. When I slept with her before, I would often get kicked off the bed by her. The best case scenario was being pinned down by her. I'd wake up with a sore back. I smiled silently. This excuse sounds very familiar. Last night, Xiao Yu complained about her sister in the same way. But compared to the girl who sleeps while spinning 360 degrees, I believe the person next to me more right now. I've asked everything I needed to ask. With nothing left to say, I went offline. After being offline for a while, I don't know when I fell asleep. Qi Yu next to me, however, was too excited to sleep. Fell on top of me, huh? She hugged her wildly beating chest and muttered to herself. Qi Yu is a typical sister who is strong in offense but weak in defense. Unfortunately, I didn't notice at all. Another half hour passed. The young woman next to me was still awake, biting her lip. Her fingertips quietly tugged at the hem of my shirt, pulling it back and forth. After half the night passed without any reaction from me, she was finally sure that I was really asleep. The heart that had been hanging in suspense finally settled down, but her heartbeat sped up another notch. Qi Yu, as stealthy as a thief, lifted my arm. As if handling a fragile antique porcelain piece, she gently placed it on her waist. When the familiar warmth passed through her sleepwear, she couldn't help but bury her face into the crook of my shoulder, laughing silently. At this moment, she felt like she had won at life. So what if the campus belle and Chen Bo had a meal together? I'm sleeping with him. In a word, I've already won. The next morning, the morning sun shone into the room through the gap in the curtains. After waking up, I started massaging my sore left shoulder. My left shoulder felt like it had been crushed by a heavy stone all night. Qi Yu, with her messy hair, woke up grumpily and walked out of the bedroom. Seeing me rotating my shoulder in the bathroom, she jumped as if guilty and immediately turned her head away, pretending not to see. Just then, Xiao Yu walked in, rubbing her sleepy eyes. She walked past the two of us standing in front of the sink and went straight to the toilet. Without even closing the door, she started to pull down her underwear. Qi Yu seemed to have predicted her actions. The moment she placed her hands on her underwear to pull it down, Qi Yu immediately rushed over. With one hand, she pulled her underwear back up and then gave her a hard slap on the butt. The slap woke the still drowsy Qi Xiaoyu right up. Close the door when you go to the bathroom. Slam. Qi Xiu gritted her teeth and slammed the bathroom door shut. She turned back to confirm that I was still looking in the mirror and not in her direction. Her anxious heart finally settled down. She almost let Qi Xiaoyu, this legendary opportunist, succeed with her plan. My shoulder is so sore. I rotated my arm. In the mirror, I saw the flickering in Qi Xiu eyes. Second sister, last night, you didn't use me as a human body pillow, did you? No way. The foam in Qi Xiu mouth almost sprayed out. Your shoulder is hard as a rock. Halfway through her sentence, she suddenly fell silent. The tips of her ears turned visibly red. Ding! Detected that second sister Qi Xiu really likes the host brand body pillow. Favorability towards you +1. Skill points +2. Notice. Qi Xiu current favorability is 33%. This meets the standard for normal friends. Please continue your efforts to increase it. The higher the favorability, the greater the chance of triggering hidden plot points. I was a little speechless. Even if the system hadn't said anything, I could see something was up. But I didn't expose Qi Xiu. Alright then, I probably just slept wrong. Qi Xiu let out a sigh of relief, thinking she had gotten away with it. After arriving at school, I was still idle with nothing to do, in the small park. I was planning to ask my good buddy out, but Subai sent me a picture. In the picture, he was somewhere, but he was kneeling on a keyboard. From that, I deduced that he was most likely caught at an internet cafe by his future wife. Tisk, this kid's life is so pathetic. I shook my head and sighed, feeling sorry for the days ahead, for my good buddy. Just then, Gui, holding a stack of documents that almost blocked her view, spotted me on the long bench. She trotted over. The edges of the document covers were still damp with morning dew. Good morning, Senior Chen. Are you waiting for someone? Hello? I'm just taking a short break. Are you busy with student council work? Gui looked at me with a pleading expression. Yes, Senior. Oh, right. Where is the biology lab building? I can find it on the map. I raised my hand to give her directions. In a bit, you'll head that way. Do you see that lecture hall over there? Go to the entrance of the general building behind the lecture hall, then turn left and go straight for 500 meters. That's the biology lab building. I looked at the teetering stack of documents in front of her and asked with concern. Do you need help? No. It's okay. I don't need help. Gu Wei quickly bowed her head, a strand of hair slipping behind her ear. I've troubled you, Senior. After saying that, she fled from the scene, carrying so many documents every time. Is this kid really okay? Watching Kovi's retreating figure, I sighed helplessly. I'm so bored. Maybe I should think about how to finish that damn thesis. I dusted off my pants, stood up, and headed towards the library. Not long after I left, a sneaky figure emerged from some green bushes and chased after Gu Wei, the third floor of the biology lab building. Gu Wei went to an empty equipment room and put down the documents in her hands. She began to take inventory of the equipment. Originally, this task didn't require the student council president herself to do it, but the student in charge of this work had taken leave, and they couldn't find a replacement in time, so she had to do it herself. Just as she was halfway through the inventory, Qi Xiu appeared, leaning against the door with her arms crossed. You're the campus belle, who's been getting close to my brother these past few days? Qi Xiu said in an unfriendly tone, every word seemingly soaked in lemon juice, dripping with sourness. Gui turned around. After seeing Qi Xiu leaning against the door, her expression was slightly surprised. You are Club President Qi of the Track and Field Club. The brother you mentioned is... Just then, Qi Xiu strode forward, choosing a direct confrontation. Chen Bo is my brother, although not by blood, but he already has a girlfriend. You best stay away from him. Gu Wei was stunned. She didn't know about my family situation, but she knew about Qi Xiu family. The Qi family only consists of a mother and 3 daughters. Where did a brother come from? But Gu Wei quickly realized Qi Xiu's hostile tone, as well as her immediate declaration of her status to make her stay away from me. A thought flashed through her mind, and she immediately guessed something. A mischievous glint flashed in her eyes. The corners of her mouth curved into a meaningful smile. Not to be outdone, she puffed out her chest and walked up to Qi Xiu. Classmate Qi, I believe love is multifaceted. The law has never stipulated that a person can only love one person. What's wrong with me getting involved? Qi Xiu's eyes widened at her words. You're shameless. Say whatever you want, classmate Chai. In any case, I won't give up on pursuing Senior Chen. Gu Wei paused, deliberately puffing out her chest. After all, I have a pretty big advantage. Qi Xiu's pupils contracted. Her gaze uncontrollably fell upon that proud curve. For the first time in her life, she felt the so-called size of an overwhelming tactical assault. Her footsteps faltered as she took 2 steps back. Unwilling to concede, she clenched her jaw. So what? My brother is a pure person. He won't pay attention to evil things. That's hard to say, classmate Qi. Do you know if Senior Tran's girlfriend is as big as me? Qi Xiu's face looked as ugly as if she were constipated. You can't win anyway. Unable to retort, she left a resentful remark and quickly fled the scene. Watching her retreating figure, Gu Wei let out a sigh. Senior Chen has some skills. To be able to conquer the tough club president Qi, it's really enviable. Sigh, this is all I can help you with. Next, it's up to you to seize the opportunity, senior. Ding. Detected second sister Chi Shi-yu has suffered a crushing defeat in a one-on-one battle. Her self-confidence has been nearly shattered. The host is a serious siscon. Surely you don't want to see your sister lose confidence and give up. Please help second sister regain her confidence. Mission completion reward. A sharp increase in Chi Shi-yu favorability. Unlock a professional skill of your choice. Failure penalty, a green hat. In the distant library, after receiving the system notification, 3 question marks appeared above my head. What the hell? Is that girl Chi Shi-yu getting into fights instead of studying? I quickly took out my phone and called her. The call connected in less than 3 seconds. Before I could speak, Chi Shi-yu beat me to it. She asked in a somewhat agitated tone, "Let me ask you something. Do you like big ones or small ones? Huh? What do you mean, like big or small?" My already suspicious brain became even more confused. Being questioned back by me, Chi Shi-yu grew both anxious and annoyed. Yeah, don't worry about what it is. Just tell me if you prefer things a little bigger or a little smaller. This. I scratched my head, trying to figure out what Chi Shi-yu was talking about. However, I racked my brain and still couldn't figure out what the appropriate answer was. Whatever, you'll just answer her first. Compared to small things, I still prefer bigger ones. Money should be in large denominations. Treasures should also be large. I cleared my throat and replied, "Yes, I like bigger things." Boom. On the other end of the line, Chi Shi-yu's heart felt like it had been struck. She froze on the spot. Her neck, like a rusty machine, stiffly bent down. She glanced at her own assets and then compared them to Kovi's. I lost. I completely lost. I lost miserably. "Hello, second sister. Xiao Yu. Moshi Moshi." My voice came through the phone. Having suffered a heavy psychological blow, Chi Shi-yu was petrified on the spot. She didn't answer me for a long time. Ding. Detected a sharp drop in second sister's mood. Please comfort her in a timely manner. Seeing the notification from the system, my face turned pale. I knew I had answered wrong. Damn it, it was a 50-50 chance and I still picked the wrong one. What on earth was second sister talking about, big or small? Even now I still don't know what Chi Shi-yu was asking about. Before that, I should find her first, I mumbled quietly. Then I put the phone to my ear and said, "Xiao Yu, where are you? I'll come find you. You don't have to." Chi Shi-yu's voice was faint, as if her soul had been sucked out. "Just go about your business." Beep. The call was disconnected. I remained frozen, listening. So what on earth did that girl just go through? An idea regarding the system immediately popped into my head. System, bro. Can you give me a little hint? What just happened to second sister? No comment. This requires the host, as a brother, to find the answer yourself. The system rejected me ruthlessly. Seeing that I couldn't rely on the system for answers, I turned to look at the locked skill tree, to see which skill could help me resolve the current difficult situation. My eyes scanned it over and over again. I quickly found an extremely suitable skill to resolve the current crisis. Love Counseling Master. Introduction. You will become a master of love psychology. On your phone will appear a specialized counseling software. In it, you can unconditionally invite close acquaintances for a one-on-one consultation. The patient's trust in you will be 100% by default. After seeing the introduction for this skill, my heart skipped a beat. It only costs 15 skill points, and I currently have 17. That's more than enough. I'll take it. I want to see what that second sister has on her mind that she can't say. After unlocking the Love Master skill, no new relationship knowledge was added to my brain. Instead, a new app appeared on my phone, an app called Love Counseling Room. No wonder it's cheaper than Piano Virtuoso. It doesn't give me any actual knowledge. It just gives me a feature, a multi-channel chat, right? I opened the software. The function inside was very simple. After creating a chat room, an option to invite people appeared. I didn't have to enter phone numbers or ID numbers myself. Instead, the names of the 3 sisters appeared directly. I quietly tapped on Chi Shi-yu's name, successfully invited Chi Shi-yu to the Love Counseling Room. After she accepts, please begin your performance. The Track and Field Club President's Office. Chi Shi-yu paced back and forth, worried that her assets weren't big enough. This is so annoying. Why does that guy have to like big ones? No, I have to go online and ask how to change someone's preference. With that said, Chi Shi-yu quickly took out her phone. As soon as she turned it on, a message caught her eye. Want to know how to change a man's preference for something? If so, click here. The answer you're looking for is here. A very normal promotional message, but Chi Shi-yu didn't know why. She had an instinctive feeling that there was useful information inside, so she clicked on it. On the phone screen appeared an app with a heart icon. Love Counseling Room. Is this reliable? With that doubt in mind, she tapped into the app. As soon as she entered, she was in a chat room. Love Master Mr. Bo is at your service. Chi Shi-yu immediately asked, "Master, I'm facing a difficult relationship problem. It's like this. My boyfriend likes girls with big chests, but I'm not that big. Ironically, there's a woman bigger than me who is approaching my boyfriend. I'm afraid he'll leave me for her. What should I do?" After seeing Chi Shi-yu's heartfelt confession, it dawned on me. So this is what she was worried about. That scared me to death. I thought she got into a fight with someone. The weight in my heart finally lifted. So asking if I liked big or small was about Opie? The corners of my mouth curved into a mischievous smile. I decided to tease second sister a little. If your boyfriend chose you, and not the third party as his girlfriend, it proves that your place in his heart surpasses the size of her assets. Hearing you say that, the rock that was stuck in her heart was suddenly cleared for Chi-Shiyu, but she quickly realized an even more serious problem. The newly cleared rock got stuck again. That's not right. I told the master he was my boyfriend, but in reality, that jerk is my adoptive brother. And the term boyfriend needs the word ex added to it, she asked again. But master, Actually, I haven't officially established a relationship with my boyfriend, and now a third party who's bigger than me has appeared. Do you think he might? I answered directly. Then let me ask you, did you meet your boyfriend first, or did the busty girl? Chi-Shiyu replied confidently. Me. Then that's right. If you were the first one, then you have a huge advantage. It's just that you might not be good at making a move, causing this relationship to stagnate. But that's not a big problem. I just need to teach you one trick. As long as you complete it successfully, I guarantee the favorability your boyfriend has for you will increase by 100%. Seeing this, Chi-Shiyu's eyes lit up. She immediately typed to ask. Her fingers moved so fast they created after images. Master, please tell me. Money is not an issue. Without hesitation, Chi-Shiyu immediately sent me a red envelope with 666 yuan. That was half a month's worth of her living expenses. I accepted it without any hesitation. Usually my brother gives me money. Today, my sister is giving me some money. It's normal to get a little boost. This method is very simple, but it requires a bit of courage. From now on, you must play the role of a future wife. In the morning, proactively wake your boyfriend up and prepare a breakfast table. At noon, and in the evening, also prepare a 4-course meal with soup. Before bed, you must also provide shoulder massages, back rubs, and other muscle-relaxing services. Oh, right. When playing the wife role, remember to wear a maid outfit. That way you'll look youthful, cute, and full of vitality. In this world, it's rare for a boyfriend to be able to resist the assault of a maid outfit. As long as you complete the above and persist for a month, I guarantee that no woman can catch your boyfriend's eye, not even a world-class cup. After sending the last sentence, I couldn't stop smiling. In contrast, Chi-Shiyu pupils were experiencing a magnitude 10 earthquake. Maid outfit, wife persona, waking up early, back rub service, and cooking service. Any one of these elements, taken separately, was hell-level difficulty for Chi-Shiyu. The setting sun scattered across the small path on campus. It was time to get out of class again. Chi-Shiyu walked with her head down, her steps absent-minded. Her mind was filled with the favorability-building plan the master had given her. She never doubted whether following the master's method could successfully increase my favorability. It was just that she lacked the courage to do it. But if she didn't follow the master's method, I might be snatched away by this campus belle, Gu Wei. Thinking it over, Chi-Shiyu gulped and decided to risk it all. She was seen stopping in her tracks and saying, my clothes don't quite fit anymore. I'm going to the mall across the street for a bit. You guys go on ahead. Chi-Xiaoyu and I stopped and turned to look at her. Okay, don't stay out too late. Be safe, I said with a smile. I'm afraid I was the only one who knew what kind of clothes Chi-Shiyu was going to the mall to buy. Sister, don't blame your brother. I'm doing this for your own good. This bad habit of sleeping in has to be fixed. Today it's you, another day it'll be the youngest sister's turn. An evening breeze blew past. Chi-Xiaoyu couldn't help but shiver. The wind was clearly warm, but she felt very cold. Moreover, it was a chill down her spine. The first floor of the shopping mall, inside a cosplay-themed clothing store. Chi-Shiyu's brows were tightly furrowed. She was staring intently at two different maid outfits in front of her. One was a normal maid outfit, a proper long skirt, and it comes with safety shorts. As for the other one, you could say it's a black and white spaghetti strap dress. Not to mention the super short skirt, the top part also reveals a lot of cleavage. This one doesn't come with safety shorts. Looking at the price of the two outfits, the normal maid outfit costs 600 yuan. The spaghetti strap maid outfit costs 888 yuan. Balance in her purse, 550. Looking at the balance on her bank card, Chi-Shiyu's face darkened. She hurriedly sent a message to Chi-Xiaoyu. Lend me some money. Just lend me 3,000. I'll pay you back next month, including the old debt. You said that last month too. Chi-Xiaoyu pouted. Chi-Shiyu stubbornly replied, Please, it's really urgent this time. It'll take you to the beach this weekend. A moment later, Chi-Xiaoyu transferred 3,000 yuan. Remember to pay me back next month. Otherwise, I'll have to charge interest. Chi-Shiyu received the royal relief funds. Looking at the two expensive maid outfits before her, a look of disdain appeared in her eyes. Only children have to choose. You'll take both. Chi-Shiyu cheerfully took both maid outfits, but as soon as she walked out of the cosplay store, she passed a lingerie shop. She suddenly stopped in her tracks, then took 2 steps back to look inside the store. Her eyes were locked on the set on the mannequin, the black lace panties and bra. Her intuition told her that sexy lingerie could effectively increase my favorability. Although she couldn't be like Chi-Xiaoyu, appearing before him wearing only a pair of panties, he was always the one who hung the laundry to dry. If he saw her sexy lingerie, perhaps his favorability would skyrocket. It wasn't impossible. Thinking of this, Shi made up her mind. She walked into the lingerie store. She had to seize her own unique charm. "Excuse me, could you please wrap this lingerie set for me?" 6:30 p.m. Shi was carrying 2 black bags and a bag with 3 cups of milk tea when she returned home. Just then, I was carrying a stir-fried dish I had just finished cooking into the living room. "You're back. Go wash your hands and get ready for dinner." "What did you buy?" "It looks like a lot of stuff." Shi subconsciously hid the black bags behind her back, her face involuntarily blushing. "It's just some normal clothes." Although she had resolved to follow the master's advice, to play the role of a doting wife for a month, to capture my heart and eyes, but when it came to putting it into practice, just facing my question made her heart beat at 180 BPM. All her determination was thrown out the window. I'm going upstairs to wash the new clothes I bought first." With that said, she grabbed the black bags, hurriedly ran upstairs.